Time for cities and towns to start dreaming again. Walking in the footsteps of giants.
Incredible!
I do not believe my eyes. This is extraordinary. Greatness awaits.
Whistle goes, 34 years of top-flight football comes to an end.
I've been going to Highfield Road for a long time, I'll never forget the place. You've got to move on, and this is the way to do it.
They will be in League One next season.
And it is the end of Coventry's stay in League One.
Whilst it's major disappointing, it's not come up and surprised us.
Fans are now coming onto the pitch here. It's a club which is at war. The club with the illustrious past, the fractious present, but now they have hope for the future.
For Coventry, a case of so near yet so far.
17th in the league in December. Players have been brilliant in the second half of the season. We'll take a break and we want to get better.
The club that lost its home, that tumbled down the divisions but refused to give in, have their sights firmly set on the top flight.
And it's in! Hear that noise! Feel that feeling! Coventry City, unstoppable! No one can stop them right now! This is real! This could be happening! Oh, yes! Oh, that is absolutely astounding! There is no letting up from Coventry City. This is their chance. Coventry City have been chasing rainbows, waiting for heroes in sky blue. A generation away from the Premier League. This looks to be the generation that takes them back.
They are almost there. Coventry City need just one more point to seal their return to the Premier League after 25 years away. Will they be celebrating promotion tonight? Blackburn still need points themselves in their battle to avoid relegation. They lost at Southampton in midweek, a first defeat in 6, leaving them 4 points above the bottom 3 with just 3 games to go. We're at Ewood Park for a huge game at both ends of the Championship table. Blackburn Rovers up against Coventry City. Kicks off at 8 p.m. Welcome along to Ewood Park on what could be a momentous night for Coventry City. Didn't quite get over the line mathematically at the weekend. One more point tonight and they'll be back in the Premier League. With us this evening, a man who played for both clubs, Tim Sherwood, captain Blackburn to a Premier League title here in 1995. A man who 14 years to the day was celebrating promotion to the Premier League with Reading, and the man who by 10 p.m. tonight could be celebrating Premier League football as well. Frank, thanks so much for joining us right at the top of the programme. I'm sure there's a little bit of disappointment at the weekend that you couldn't quite get over the line and get it done, but 1 point tonight sees you through. What's the last few days been like for you?
Yeah, slight disappointment last week, but it's football. These games are so hard to win, and the fact is the lads have got themselves in that position over the course of the season. We have 4 games remaining, and we know tonight we have it in our hands to make it absolutely solid to get promoted. So I think it's for the lads tonight is to deal with the pressure, the good pressure that this is. Through the week we've been trying to stay calm, trying to keep them motivated. Training at this point of the season, they've trained a lot, so it's more focus and be ready for what's going to be a big challenge of a football match.
Has it been a bit strange? Has it felt like you're in a state of limbo maybe?
Maybe, but there's so much thinking time that maybe we all think and we get into a bit of limbo. The facts are the facts, prepare well for the game. Be excited with the position that we're in, but respect the opposition. So yeah, been through the week just trying to get the time right, but these boys are good boys. It's part of why we are where we are, because of the togetherness and their spirit and how they're really determined to get to where they want to get to. So I feel like there's been a good week and we'll see.
Frank, just in terms of that motivation, you have to find different ways as the season goes. You get those highs, those lows. Obviously, you've got a point which you know, you're nearly there. How much is that going on to win the league, that extra little bit of motivation just to make sure you keep that drive in the group?
Yeah, it's a good point. Probably a few games ago I laid that one on the players because it felt like we're obviously favourites to be promoted because of the points. I didn't want it to get relaxed in that situation because I think when you relax in football, all of a sudden you go, oh, it's not, the gap's not there anymore or whatever. So I threw that one in a few weeks ago. And it's good. It's great considering not so many players have had these sort of battles and challenges at the top of the league. They've all had great careers in their own ways, but as a group to understand it and have that determination to win it now. You get this far, the last thing you want to do is go out of a whimper and have any kind of anti-climax feeling. Yeah. It's like it's there now, lads. 4 games to go and starting tonight.
Frank, you've had such success in your career. Where would this rank amongst your achievements?
Really high, Tim. Really high because you'll know as a player, it's quite an individual, sometimes selfish thing where you rely on other teammates, better teammates, or whatever. You do your bit. I think when you step into this side of it, you feel the responsibility, you feel the sort of the good and the bad, probably more. It maximises everything. So I think if we can do this, personally, I would feel a huge amount of pleasure from it, and it would rank right up there.
When I used to score a goal, and not as many as you did, the emotion of scoring a goal was nothing like one of your team as a manager scoring one. Do you feel exactly the same?
Yeah, exactly the same. It's a strange feeling. You would think that your moment of scoring, and we all, I lived off that. It was part of why I scored. I was so hungry to do that. But when you start working and all the bits that go into it in the week and the decisions and all the bits and bobs around it, I feel exactly the same. I also feel a lot worse when we lose. Yeah. So that's why this season's been good, because you will lose games of football, but these boys have managed to win a lot of games. So credit to them. But yeah, certainly my pleasure is heightened.
And more nervous, Frank, now than when you ever played before the games?
That's a hard one. I think that depends on the situation. I think as a young manager, yeah, I think I was so desperate in the early days to really show myself. Every defeat was, oh no, and what's the reaction? Or maybe every win, you go, oh great, you really strive for it. I think now I've realised to be a bit more balanced as a manager. But in terms of being a player, I probably maybe got more nervous as a player, because you feel like when you're out there, that one mistake or whatever or anything, or the burden on your shoulders individually. But once you are on the lines, there is a point where your work's done through the week, through the season, with all the chats, with all the training, with all the idea. So a little bit's over to them then. Yeah. I don't know, it's a hard one.
Just blame them.
Blame them if it goes wrong. Yeah.
I know it's not CBS tonight, Frank, but you're going to have the best part of 7,000 travelling fans, die-hard fans behind the goal, which is starting to fill up now. Yeah. How special will it be to deliver for them tonight?
Well, we'd like to do it for that. A while ago I would have said I don't care how we get there over the line, because it's such a big deal. Now we're in this position and 7,000 plus there travelling. It's been a huge thing on me, this fan base of this football club. Some of it is because it's got an incredible fan base in the city and everything, but also a lot of it is part of the journey that they've been on for 25 years. And I watched it from afar, and it was a sad, disappointing story, using different stadiums, seeing the club go down to come back up. So it adds an extra ingredient to these fans, and they've been fantastic from the minute I came into the club. And sometimes, it's a bit easy and cliche to kind of go do it for the fans. It sounds like a thing as footballers. There's a lot of selfishness in us to do it for ourselves. But for this football club, these fans deserve it.
And in terms of what you face tonight, a Blackburn side who, as you know, are fighting for points still for their survival. I'm sure they're not desperately keen on hosting someone else's party in their own house. What are you expecting from them tonight?
A really tough match, because they're fighting, and credit to the manager that's came in and seems to have got this lift and a fighting spirit about them, and they've had some good results lately. They're generally in games. I know they lost at Southampton. That can happen to anyone at the moment, but they're generally in games. It's a tough place to come here. I've come here and had some good moments and I've had some really tough moments, and when momentum gets going here, it can be difficult. So we've got to understand that the Blackburn want to win this game as well. There's a lot on it for them as well, so I expect them to be fighting.
Could we just finish with a word on the teams? Change of striker tonight. Ellis Sims ahead of Hadji, right? What's the thinking there?
Pure choice. I'm fortunate to have those two as the out-and-out nines in our team that have slightly different attributes. And over the course of the season, there's been times for Ellis, how I see it, and Hadji knowing that I can bring the other one on. Do we want to see Ellis's attributes of running behind and the strength and power that he's got? Yeah, Ellis has been great and has maybe doesn't get quite maybe the plaudits, because Hadji scored a lot of goals as well, but in Ellis per minute, all the games he's played, has been really effective for us. So yeah, it's pure choice tonight.
Okay, thanks so much for your time ahead of kickoff. Really appreciate it, and all the best tonight. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Frank Lampard, big night ahead for Coventry City. Thank you, Frank. Will tonight be the night they get over the line? Let's be said, effectively as good as up, but they can't quite say they are until that 1 point, or maybe 3 tonight, is on the board. And you think about the job he's done, Tim. Coventry was 17th in November 24 when he took over. They were a point above the relegation zone. He got them into the playoffs last season, and now he's 1 point away from the Premier League. Just give us an idea of the size of the job he's done.
He's done an incredible job. I just don't think we can forget what Mark Robins did at this football club as well. He comes so close in so many occasions, laid the foundation, certainly on the pitch. You know, there's a lot of work needed to be done off the pitch, but that record there...
2 points per game over a year and a half.
So I think when the stats men do the sums, I think it's 2 points a game, you get promotion. You know, and Frank knows. He talks so well, doesn't he? He's so relaxed there. He looks so relaxed. You know, I think surely he's got to be eating up inside. He knows they're nearly over the line, but it's been incredible what he's done. You know, and we're talking about a man who don't need to work, who don't need to be a football manager, who doesn't need the 24/7 mental strain of being a football manager, but he wants to be. He's obsessed with football. He's addicted to the game, and he's going to get rewards tonight, which he deserves.
Tim's absolutely right in terms of referencing Mark Robins and the job that he's done, and if they do go on to get over the line, he needs to take an awful amount of credit, but that can also be a double-edged sword coming into this football club where he was so successful for such a long period of time. But Frank's got that gravitas, he's got that sort of aura about him that it didn't faze him, and I think in terms of coming into the dressing room, that would have been massive for the players. Doug King as well, in terms of what he's done here, and that decision, because it wasn't one that was universally loved by everybody around, I suppose, the game as such, and certainly Coventry City, but to come in and have that almost immediate impact. And also, it hasn't been a massive overhaul of the squad either. You know, there's been a little bit of tinkering, a little bit of an addition on the way. Grimes was a huge one, you know, when he first came in. And it's been a sort of real incredible turnaround in terms of results and points that he's achieved.
That's a good point, James, because I look from the outside and I think when Mark Robins was taking his team forward, I was thinking, these guys are playing to their maximum. They're playing out their skin. But in fact, Frank's gone in there and he squeezed that little bit extra out of them. Yes, they've added 2 or 3 to the squad and they've helped out massively, especially in January. But I just think that, and I think it is the aura. It is the aura of Frank. It is the statue of the man walking in there. All of a sudden, he gets their attention. Brilliant job. I can't speak highly enough of what the job Frank Lampard's done.
And you think in the 25 years since they've been outside the top flights, what has happened to this club in terms of the nomadic time, the relegations, sunk as far as the 4th tier, League 2, you know, and it was Robins, as you said, who started the comeback in 2018. Because of what this club and their fans have been through, Joby, will that make this promotion moment even the more sweeter?
Oh, absolutely. And again, probably showing my age a little bit here, Jules, but certainly watching, you know, growing up as a younger, you know, football-loving fan, Coventry were a top-flight team, you know, and actually to come out of that and be out 25 years is absolutely incredible. You can see here, you know, how many days, league games it's been, and it's not just been, you know, oh, we're out the league, like you say, it's the ground issues, playing away from home, the relegations, you know, and to be able to just keep ticking along, and Mark Robins at times had to do that. It's incredible. So to finally get to this stage, I remember doing Nottingham Forest actually when they got back, Jules, and that emotion and the feeling of real big clubs that have been out of the Premier League and that opportunity to get back. I'm sure we'll see all of that unfold tonight if they do get the point that they need.
It's really important if someone like Frank goes in, he doesn't look at that history when he comes into the club. He's got to think, you know, what's gone is gone. What's now is now. We move forward and we're going to be positive moving forward, and that's exactly what he's done. He hasn't looked back. Yeah, he respects the troubled times that this club has had, both on and off the field, but he's just looked forward, and he's tried to concentrate on, and what he can affect is when he's on that training pitch with the players and when he sends them over the line.
Well, last weekend's draw against Sheffield Wednesday has probably just delayed the inevitable. 1 point needed for Coventry City for promotion, and that long wait is very nearly over. And next, we're going to hear from 2 players who have certainly played their part in moving the club to the brink of the Premier League.
It's massive. It's such a big club, and since coming here, you really do realise the history behind the club and what a huge, huge club it is. So it's a club, in my opinion, that is deserving of Premier League football. It's massive for the city, it's massive for the fan base who, like I say, fully deserve it. They sell out every week, every away end, every home game, and we're just over the moon that we can give them a bit of happiness.
Well, last season, Blackburn Rovers nearly made the playoffs. This time, it is all about staying in the Championship, and Tuesday's defeat at Southampton ended a 5-game unbeaten run, leaves them 4 points above the drop zone, with 3 games left to secure safety, starting tonight against the league leaders. And what a night it could be for Coventry City. 12 points clear of Ipswich, 33 goals better off. They're as good as up, but they need 1 point to make it official, and 7,000 fans are ready to get the promotion party started. And after 25 years, it'll certainly be worth the wait, I'm sure. Well, 2 players who've certainly helped put Coventry on the brink of promotion are Jack Redoney and captain Matt Grimes, and they met for a chat and a game of table tennis, it seems, with Jonathan Oakes.
Well, let's get it out there then, because you are as good as promoted already, but are you going to tell us that you've still got work to do, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's an incredible position we've got ourselves in, but for a lot of the season we've just been trying to maintain 2 points a game. I feel like that's the goal when you're trying to get promoted at this league, and we're maintaining that at the minute.
What's it been like, Jack, behind the scenes, keeping everyone calm and not getting carried away?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been times when he's told a few of us to like stay calm and that, but no, he's a good captain. Like, you couldn't really ask for a better captain. Not to glaze you too much, but no, he's been brilliant, keeping everyone level-headed. You know, just keeps everyone together morale-wise, but still keeping that like hunger to go and win games, even not letting off the gas. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Is it true that your in-laws moved to Swansea a couple of weeks before you signed for Coventry?
I'm never going to dodge this story, am I? Yeah, no, it wasn't a couple of weeks. It was the day. It was the day. It was a Thursday, I think. The day I came up here, they finalised their move to their place down there.
You were seen as the missing piece in the jigsaw, really. I'm sure that's how Frank Lampard sold it to you. I mean, how much has he improved you, Jack, Matt, since he came in?
He makes my life as easy as it can be. You know, when you have someone like him behind you that can dictate a game, dictate the tempo, find you through the lines, it makes it so easy for me. All I need to focus on is getting in spaces for him to pass to me, and he'll find me like I know he'll find me.
It's Jack Redoney! Jack Redoney strikes in the sky blue of Coventry City. It's becoming a familiar tale. Redoney's free! And Jack Redoney fires Coventry City in front again. Where are we heading next?
The 2 goals you scored against Derby off the bench, and they were huge, weren't they? And Lampard-esque, the way that you arrived in the box.
Yeah, I mean, Grimes was battering me for doing some finishing with the gaffer earlier. So yeah, but no, it pays off. It pays off. You know, I learned so much off him, and you know, it was no one better to learn off his.
And he had some praise for you after the Derby game. I'm sure you're aware of this already, but I'm going to play you the clip of him talking about you.
I'll wait to hear this.
You must have seen this.
You've been there, you've done it. How far can he go, Gaffer?
Oh, he can play in the Premier League. We just want him to play with us. You know, he's definitely got that ability to do that because he's confident, he's hungry, the ability's there. Since we've been in, he's just absolutely flown, and I'm not trying to take credit for that. I just think he's found the confidence, he's found the role. He's a special player, and I really believe he can go as far as he wants, but he's definitely levels. He looked like dropping in a Premier League player into the pitch, right? He looked like maybe a Champions League player the way he's played there today. Come on, so he's got, you know, I don't want to overcook it because he's got always things he can improve, but he's got some ability.
Looked like a Champions League player, but he doesn't want to overcook it. Thoughts?
No, it's good to hear, you know, especially from your manager who clearly believes in me. I believe in myself, you know. I believe I can play at those levels, but I don't believe it until I do it. I just, in the back of my head, I know that I can get there. It's nice for him to say that, but I never think I am a Champions League player like right now, because when I do play in the Champions League and show that I'm worthy of that level, that's when I will.
There's a lot been spoken about this 25-year absence from the Premier League. What would it mean to get Coventry back to the Premier League after all this time?
Yeah, it's massive. It's such a big club, and since coming here, you really do realise the history behind the club and what a huge club it is. So it's a club, in my opinion, that is deserved of Premier League football. It's massive for the city, it's massive for the fan base who, like I say, fully deserve it. They sell out every week, every away end, every home game, and we're just over the moon that we can give them a bit of happiness.
You want to do it in a blaze of glory now, don't you? Win the game?
Yeah, of course. We want to win the rest of the games. That's all we've been doing all season, just thinking next game, let's win it. And then before you know it, we're in a position to go up and win the league. So I think everyone's pretty chilled.
It's so close you can almost touch it now, isn't it? I mean, are you looking forward to a time when you won't have to be quite so guarded?
Yeah, yeah. It's just the way I am. My wife says it all the time. It's just I'm obsessed with winning, obsessed with getting us the way we want to be. I think once the final whistle blows in the last game at Watford, it will be okay. We are where we are, and then we can relax. But until then, yeah, just keep winning.
Yes, two stellar performers this season for sure. Ewood Park set for a big game tonight as Coventry go for promotion. Speaking of stellar performers, let's get to another duo who always deliver. Joby and Tim are out there on the pitch.
Cheers, Jules. Yeah, we're going to have a little look at some of the real key performers back in a place you know very, very well in this midfield area, Tim, and we're going to look at three in particular, really been such important players. We'll start with Jack Rudoni, who again had a little bit of a disrupted start to the season, a lot of expectation given what he did last year, but really since January he's got back to the form that we know he's capable of. Such an important player in that attacking third, just gives them that different dimension when he's at the level we know he can be at.
I think he does, Jobs. Yeah, I just walked by him there. Did you see the size of the man as well? I mean, he's a lump, isn't he? I mean, he must be up there 6'3", you know, and timing his runs into the box. Like, he's got that something a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's almost, this one is Lampard-esque in my opinion. The way he drives in, chops it there onto his left foot and just passes it into wrong foot's the goalkeeper. You know, these finishes just arrive in anticipation. I looked at his numbers actually. He's got to do a lot better, his numbers. And what I mean is he's capable of doing that. If he can keep himself fit, I think he should be a minimum 10-goal a season man, and I think he will be in the future, even in the Premier League.
Yeah, and another man who has been absolutely instrumental. The signing that Frank Lampard really wanted when he came in was Matt Grimes. That midfield general, he controls and dictates the pace of the tempo. And I just feel that sometimes, you know, his stats, you look at his numbers there in terms of his availability, his minutes played, does go under the radar. For you as a manager, knowing week in, week out what you're going to get, how important is that and how big's he been?
It's crucial. He is the Championship's version of Bernardo Silva. If you ask Pep Guardiola who he can rely on every single week to give a performance and to be out there, first and foremost, that is Bernardo Silva. This is Coventry's Bernardo Silva. This is the man who they can rely on. They trust him with the ball. He detects, like you quite rightly said, the timing. He decides when to slow it up. He decides when to pass forward. He's such an experienced player at this level. I'm just delighted for him. He's played a handful of games in the Premier League. I'm just delighted the fact that next season he's going to get an opportunity to play in the Premier League. We know that. I mean, we can say that. And I want him, and I believe, he reminds me of Will Hughes, you know, someone who can handle the ball. Obviously he helps because he's a left footer as well, but he can handle it, and he's a clever footballer. He's like a walking brain on that pitch. I love him.
And again, you talk about being clever, that intelligence. Yes, we know what he does on the ball, but also the positions he picks up out of possession, his interceptions, his block, the tackles that he's made. He's been so important. And again, we talk about January signings. I know you were one that went to Portsmouth halfway through the year. I know you told me that's the reason they went on and got promoted. But Frank Onyeka, another one who's come in this season, how big a part has he played in terms of that energy and that drive that he's brought to that midfield?
I mean, Frank's identified that he's the man they needed to bring in. He has got that Premier League experience as well. The experienced performer, just to come in there, a little bit of steel, break up the play. You know, he was a 6 really for Brentford. He was a sitting midfield player. Now, I mean, he can do everything in my opinion. He won't be a 10, but he can be an 8. He's got the energy, but he's a reliable performer. He's one of them guys who's doesn't mind doing the ugly stuff, will break up the play, will give the ball away, but doesn't care. I think he's a leader. He looks like a leader to me amongst this group, and he's been a great acquisition. If you could bring someone like him in with his experience around January time, I think he signed just late on in January. What a signing he's been. I mean, it's been absolutely gold dust for Frank Lampard, just to change their fortunes around in the back end of the season.
I think that Middlesbrough game, his first game, I think we saw all of that, the energy, the intensity, that ability to go and press higher up the pitch. And I think we of course, stand here tonight. They're on the verge of going up. The next question is, what do they need to do when they are in the Premier League? You've potentially got a ready-made player that has played at the level, at a club where he's played consistently now, really his best run of games he's had for a very, very long time. So, again, important that he understands the club, he understands the manager, and could be a huge addition to them should they go up next season.
Yeah, and the fans have got to know him as well. He's introduced himself to the fans, albeit at a different level, but they would have loved what they've seen so far, and I think he's a fan's favourite in a short period of time. So he's one for sure they're going to try and sign for the Premier League next year.
Great, and that was a midfield masterclass.
It's the engine room, it's where it all belongs.
So on that note, Jules, we'll throw back to you.
Joby, Tim, thanks very much indeed. Some of the key protagonists in this Coventry City side. The standout team in the Championship this season, top of the table every week bar one, and tonight they can finalise promotion to the Premier League. Avoid defeat here at Ewood Park, and it will be mission accomplished. After the break, though, we'll switch focus to the hosts who are yet to achieve their goal. That'll be Championship survival. After a quarter of a century away from the top flight, now just a point stands between Coventry City and promotion back to the Premier League here at Ewood Park tonight. Ellis Sims starts up front in place of top scorer Haji Wright. He drops to the bench. As for Blackburn Rovers, Erin Cashin returns to the team. So too does their top scorer Yuki Ahashi as they target a win to pull further clear of the Championship drop zone. Let's hear now from the Rovers head coach Michael O'Neill, who's been speaking with Jonathan Oates.
Well, clearly, Michael, there's a lot of focus on Coventry tonight, but you've still got a job to do. So how are your players approaching this?
Well, look, we're focused purely on ourselves. You know, we have our own agenda. It's totally different from what Coventry's is. It's about maintaining our Championship status. So, yeah, we're not here just to take part. We're certainly, here with the home team. It's an opportunity for us, and obviously, a big 3 points available.
You've freshened things up with 3 changes from the Southampton game in midweek. How are the players doing after that?
Fine, I mean, a demanding game. It's been a demanding week, to play the 3 games in the 6 days. But look, this group have given me everything in the short period that I've been in. It's incredibly stretched with some of the injuries we've had as well. So I can't ask any more from what the players have given me, and I know they'll give me everything tonight.
Coventry have clearly been the best team in the league. So where are the potential weaknesses that you could look to exploit tonight?
Well, look, as you rightly said, they're top of the league for a reason, and they've got, a nice little buffer in terms of the points. I think in the Championship, there's not a lot in a lot of the games, and I suppose we'll have to nullify their match winners and take away their threat. But also we have to carry a threat as well. We've been good, I think, out of possession. We've played from a good, solid base. We've not conceded too many goals, but equally we have to be able to hurt the opposition as well.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Cheers.
I mean, they'd been on their best unbeaten run of the season, Tim, before that midweek defeat at Southampton in the week. Overall, how would you assess the impact that Michael O'Neill's had since he came in a couple of
Very, very good. I mean, to only lose that one game against Southampton at the last 6 and still be only 4 points clear of the drop zone just shows you the form of the teams at the bottom of the Championship. He knows, the experienced man, he knows this is going to go right to the last game of the season, and he just hopes that Blackburn are not going to be involved in it. Look, this is the only time. I don't want to say let them down. I mean, this can happen at Southampton at the moment to any team. So the team didn't let him down, but they've been competitive in every game, and I expect them to be competitive again tonight. They're going to be hard to beat. That's what they're going to try and achieve, and try and get something maybe on a counter-attack, or possibly more likely with a corner or a set piece.
Yeah, I think this was one of those that you just put to bed as quickly as you can, given that run they've been on. Very unlike what they've been like under Michael O'Neill in terms of defensively solid, and Southampton have been doing that to pretty much anyone they go up against. So it's now put that to bed. What can we do better again tonight? And I certainly think we'll see an improved performance here at home.
Opta have been crunching the numbers as they do, and in terms of who's going to be joining Sheffield Wednesday in League One next season, it's not looking great for Leicester and Oxford, who are most likely to be relegated. They say Opta giving West Brom a 22% chance of going down. There is that little asterisk next to their name at the moment. Back-to-back wins for Portsmouth. Tim, have seen Opta slash their relegation probabilities to just 10%, and then we look at Blackburn on 20%, so that's what, a 1 in 5 chance of relegation. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I hope they're right. I mean, yeah, and my other team, Portsmouth, is down there as well. So They're showing real fight, as are Portsmouth, you know, and that's what you've got to show. They're down there for a reason, because they're not going to play open football. They're not going to open teams up. They're not going to score a bundle of goals. But what they are going to do is grind, and they're going to fight for this club and this badge. It's unthinkable for me to feel like this club could be in League One next season, and I just pray they don't. And I believe that they'll stay in the division.
And when you look at what is still to come between now and the end of the season, bearing in mind that once Blackburn have played this game tonight, they've only got 2 games left, and if they don't get a result tonight, Joby, your eyes do get drawn to that final game of the season here against Leicester City. Could it all come down to that?
Yeah, because they're in that position. What you absolutely want now is points on the board, which them and Portsmouth obviously have got, and they've got that advantage over, you know, Oxford and Leicester at the moment. But you just want to get yourself over the line as quickly as you can. And we know tonight is going to be a real tough one. Sheffield United, in terms of their league position, doesn't reflect the quality they've got in their team, and what you don't want is going into that last game if Leicester are able to pick up a couple of results, which at the moment doesn't seem very likely given how they're going, but they've got the quality in there to do it. And then all of a sudden, last day of the season, it really does get to that nervous stage.
Blackburn's biggest problem has been scoring goals. Only Sheffield Wednesday have scored fewer than them this season, and in fact recent meetings between these sides sort of mirrors that. This is the story, Tim. No goals for Blackburn in the last 5 league meetings. Not for the want of trying. They've had plenty of shots and shots on targets, big chances. But overall, though, why do Blackburn struggle to score?
They're not good enough, Jules. I mean, it's the bottom line. As much as they don't want to hear that, they're not. They haven't got the quality. They haven't got the guile. They've got the heart. We've seen that, but that's late on. You know, they've changed managers. What doesn't help, the cohesion amongst the group as well. So it's just about getting over the line, and hopefully they can improve next season if they're still in the Championship, which I believe they will. And they need to use the loan. They've got no money to buy players. They need to use their academy or the loan system to try and bring in some superstars and give them some game time. And hopefully they can be the players who make the difference and open up teams and let them be a little bit more expansive. At the moment, Michael's gone in there. He's identified what they need. They haven't got the quality to open up, and what they can do is fight. And that is what they're going to need to do. And I think they're going to be safe just by rolling up their sleeves and having these fan base behind them tonight.
And you've got Haji Wright sat on the Coventry bench, who scored more goals than the entire starting 11 for Blackburn tonight. 14 goals only. And Ohashi, who's back tonight, Job, has got 8 of those.
Yeah, and listen, Ohashi, I think when you look at him, he probably sums them up a little bit. Works so hard off the ball. I mean, this goal here,
this is the last player of theirs to score against in this fixture.
Well, that's how bad it is. When you've got the opposition keeper scored more than any of their actual players. So going back to Ohashi, I mean, as I say, he pretty much sums them up. Again, works ever so hard. You know, he really puts himself about, but he's never going to be that 15 to 20 goal a season, you know, outcome. And you've had injuries which you have to factor in as well, Jules, in terms of to real key players tonight, out with probably 10 plus, you know, really important figures in that team. And I just feel this is a combination of things. Yes, they finished just outside the playoffs last year, but probably overachieved. Whether there was a bit of complacency with that in terms of recruitment in the summer, but there's not been a lot to work with here. I think the fans have felt that frustration. I think that's filtered down onto the pitch at times here at Ewood Park.
Yeah, Ben Wilson, that was the Coventry keeper, who has scored as many goals as Blackburn players have combined in the last 7 league meetings, which says it all. Moving it back to Coventry City, Tim, you think back to the start of the season, and they set off like a team that looked like they meant business. They were, I think, 12 points clear by the end of November. Did you think then, these guys are the real deal this season? Yeah,
but the nature of the Championship is it's up and down. I mean, I've never seen a division like it. It is the most competitive league in the world of football, isn't it? I mean, it has to be, both ends of the division. But they've made it at the top look like it's quite easy, you know, this year. But when do you see that? You don't really. You know, I just think that they're... I think Frank's got them off to a good start. Obviously, the confidence was flowing through the group of players. And then they went on a fantastic run, and it wasn't. And then they dropped a few points, and then they knew they needed a big game, and that big game come around, didn't it? It was that Middlesbrough game, and they beat them 3-1. What a way to bounce back, and then they haven't looked back since then, Jules. They really haven't. I think it is just winning at the right times, but like Joby says, if you lose a game, dust yourself down as quickly as possible. But that little winless run, it went on for quite a few games, and everyone started saying, the wheels have come off now, this is the old Coventry, this is what we expect, they're going to fall at the last hurdle. But they bounced back, and I think the Middlesbrough game was huge for them.
Was that the defining moment as well? Because, of course, by that point, the 12-point lead they'd had had been overtaken by Borough, and that was the moment they retook top spot.
Yeah, for me, that was the key moment in Coventry City's season. All the good work they did earlier, and we saw that good start. This game here going into it, because all the feeling, and we were up there, was Middlesbrough would go and win. The form that they were in, contrasting that to what Coventry in, but they started the game so aggressively, Jules, got themselves into that 2-goal lead, and then this was a period in the game where Middlesbrough were dominating the ball. They get themselves back into it, and Coventry had to weather a little bit of a period where they were without the ball, but that's what they did better than they were doing in that run. They were getting a little bit stretched, a little bit overrun in midfield, but it's almost as if they said, right, let's just get through this. If we see this off, we get this 3 points, and that is what has kick-started that second half of the season.
And it come at the right time. You know, sometimes you win a game and you win against a side mid-table or at the bottom of the league. Doesn't mean as much. This meant more than the 3 points Wade gave them. It was, they took over us at the top. We're letting them know who the bosses are. We are the boss. We're going to take it on from here, and it just shows you what they've done since. Unbelievable run.
Only Southampton have picked more points up than them since that game, and we know what sort of a run they've been on, so that tells it all. It's been some turnaround for Coventry City after that little mini wobble of 8 games around the winter time. But since that game, Middlesbrough really, you can argue, have never recovered. Coventry City, in the meantime, have not looked back, and now the Premier League awaits for them potentially. We'll just have a little look at the top of the table as we prepare for kick-off here. By the way, the Coventry fans really starting to find their voice as they fill their way to our left-hand side here. But their job is nearly done for Coventry City. Just to reiterate, as good as up after that 0-0 draw last weekend, but 1 more point tonight will see them in the Premier League by 10 o'clock tonight. So, big night for both these teams this evening, not only for Coventry City, but for Blackburn Rovers as well, because they are fighting for points at the other end of the Championship table. This is a pivotal night at both ends, and kick-off is just over 14 minutes away.
With this football club, with the situation it's been through for 25 years, it's absolutely very, very rare that teams that have gone through this journey are in this position with 1 step away from where they're going. So the fans are the first ones that should enjoy it. I know they will. We need to focus on our job on the pitch. If we do our job right, they'll enjoy it even more.
I think players always enjoy playing in a stadium that's full and with a good atmosphere. I think a big away support brings out the best in our support as well, and so hopefully that will be the case again on Friday.
Blackburn Rovers are presenting former players with their honour caps as part of their 150th anniversary celebrations. And in the break, it was Tim's turn to receive his. Nice moment for you, Tim. You must have some fond memories of this place.
Oh, without a doubt, yes. Been a long time, but great to receive it from Robert Core there, who was the chairman at the time when we won the Premier League. So, yeah, it's an honour to represent this football club, and it was great times.
Look at that. You got a lovely response from the home fans as well, didn't you? Chanting your name as they used to, eh?
They were great. You know, it's just a shame that there's no one here. You know, but you know, back in the day, this place used to be full, and it will be full if they can get, you know, get some wins and get climbing that division. You never know what's possible in the future.
Yeah, back in the day, of course, 1995, when Blackburn and Tim won the title. Very different days now, but these are special moments for Tim. Can you believe 31 years ago? It hasn't changed a bit, has he? Look at those locks. 31 years later, though, and it's a very different story, isn't it? Rovers in a fight to avoid relegation to the 3rd tier, as are the 2016 Premier League champions Leicester City. Remember the 5,000-to-1 winners? Now odds on with the bookmakers to be playing in League One next season. They've got a huge game against Portsmouth, who are rejuvenated tomorrow. You'll see that on Sky Sports Football from 11. Millwall QPR as well at 12:30 on Plus, along with Derby and Oxford United battling for survival as well. And then huge game that really is crunch time for both Ipswich and Middlesbrough on Sunday. Coverage on Football from 11:30. And then the EFL Awards coming up on Sunday evening. Our very own David Prutton and Emma Saunders will be presenting that. So we're at Ewood Park tonight to see if Coventry City can clinch promotion to the Premier League. They've racked up 85 points. They need just 1 more. And in front of a huge away following who've made the journey here to Blackburn. 7,000 Coventry fans travelling for a promotion party. Will they be celebrating come 10 p.m? We're about to find out.
The club that lost its home, that tumbled down the divisions but refused to give in, have their sights firmly set on the top flight.
And it's in! Hear that noise, feel that feeling. Coventry City, unstoppable. No one can stop them right now. This is real. This could be happening. Oh, yes! Oh, that is absolutely astounding. There is no letting up from Coventry City. This is their chance. Coventry City have been chasing rainbows, waiting for heroes in sky blue. A generation away from the Premier League. This looks to be the generation that takes them back.
It's been 25 turbulent years of administration, of points deductions, ground shares and relegation as low as the 4th tier. Tonight, though, Coventry could finally rise again, back to the Premier League. Thousands of fans here hoping for an I was there moment tonight. Can Lampard and his players deliver it for them? Here's the manager with Jonathan Oakes.
What will be your final message for your players as they look to complete the job for sure?
Well, I don't have to say too much to this group. A lot of the work is done on the training pitch. It's been done for months. A lot of the talk we do through the year, they understand what we want to do. Maybe a few words to stay calm. When I say stay calm, don't stay calm in your legs, stay calm in your head and run around with your legs.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks.
Nearly time for kick-off here at an expectant Ewood Park. The Premier League is in touching distance, Joby, for Coventry. They couldn't quite get it done last weekend. What's the key to them getting over the line tonight?
Just a big fast start, come flying out the traps. The game is there for you to go and win. I think the word limbo was used in the build-up, Jules, and that's exactly what this build-up would have felt like. They're there, but they're not quite. And until you get over that line mathematically, that emotion, and you'll be able to really go and celebrate. And you look at that away end tonight, is absolutely incredible, and they want to go and celebrate in front of those. But listen, Blackburn aren't going to just let them come and walk all over them. They're going to have to come and they're going to have to earn it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been anything but fortress Ewood Park for them really this season, Tim. 4 league wins only all season. But that noise that the Coventry fans are making way so all right, this big travelling numbers here tonight. Can the Blackburn fans, can the Blackburn players almost feed off that energy?
Absolutely. If I was in that Blackburn dressing room, I want to be spoiling a party here tonight. It's a big game. The eyes are on here. Even if I'm trying to showcase myself, to maybe go to Coventry next year or wherever it may be. Everyone's watching this game tonight, so there's an opportunity for these Blackburn players. This is a big game for them, Jules. It's almost a bigger game for them. For them to survive in the Championship is everything. They need to make it horrible tonight. They need to spoil this game, and they need to try and get a goal and cling on to something.
They need a point, Joby. Frank Lampard's not the sort of man to come here for a point, is he?
No, and you only have to listen to him and see what he achieved to know that he will be demanding absolutely the maximum tonight.
Here we go then. The gates to the Premier League are open for Coventry. 1 point is all they need to stride through them. Or will Blackburn be party poopers tonight? Let's find out in the hands of your Coventry team here at a very loud Ewood Park. It's Andy Hinchcliffe and it's Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, Jules. The city of Coventry has arrived en masse in the East Lancashire town of Blackburn, hoping tonight is the night. A sea of sky blue surging up the M6 as they surge towards the Premier League. 1 more point. 1 point completes the story. A comeback tale for the ages. Well, Blackburn Rovers have almost been at breaking point because of injuries. So many key players missing because of those problems. But Aaron Cashin and Yuki Hashi return tonight after being given a bit of a rest on Tuesday. Ryan Alabiosu, who went off injured in the defeat at Southampton, has recovered in time to play tonight. Adam Forshaw, who has been instrumental in Michael O'Neill's short time here, is fit enough for the bench. But Todd Cantwell misses out again. Well, Coventry City, by Frank Lampard's own admission, struggled against Blackburn's system when they met back in September, so it looks like he is matching up Rovers here and going man for man. Bobby Thomas returns to what is a 3-man defence. Tatsu Sakamoto is out with a rib injury, so Milan van Ewijk will look to patrol all of that right-hand side. Matt Grimes has been a Premier League player in waiting for a decade to get back to that level again. That wait is almost over. Ellis Sims starts ahead of Haji Wright in attack. These players are ready to stitch their names into the fabric of Coventry City Football Club forever. Michael O'Neill wore the badge of Coventry City for a spell during the late 90s when they were a Premier League club. No room for sentiment for him here tonight, though. His focus is on Blackburn Rovers and winning their fight to remain a Championship club. So Coventry City's 25-year exile from the Premier League is almost over. Their name penciled in on next season's Premier League guest list. Now Frank Lampard looks to make it official.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Blackburn's desire to stay up can outdo Coventry's hunger for promotion. It looks unlikely when you look at Blackburn's poor home record. Coventry's away form. A Blackburn win here would be one of the surprise results of this Championship season.
Matt Grimes having his say in the huddle. Coventry City, from twice being exiled from their own city to plunging towards non-league football. The protests, the unrest, the fight to get back to the stadium that was built for them. Coventry City have seen it all. They've played them all. The darkest hour comes before dawn, and after their heartbreaking fall down the leagues, they found their heroes to bring the club back to life. And after that exile, it could be a king that takes them back to the Premier League palace. But from Mark Robbins, Adi Vivash, Liam Kelly, Matty Godden, Carl McFadden, for those who wear the badge now, the list is endless, their contribution priceless. The baton handed over to the current generation to take the biggest step, the final lap, and see Coventry City home.
And I guarantee you, Matt Grimes in that huddle was saying, look boys, it's down to us tonight, let's make it happen, let's do what we've done game in and game out during the course of this season. We're deservedly top of the table, we deserve to be in the Premier League. Let's go and show everyone just how good we are.
Well, actually looking to get involved for Blackburn Rovers, who want to pull the plug on this party here. Blackburn have hosted parties for others before, and they're a bit sick of it. Rodoni defending for Coventry City.
Yeah, I think we should have to remind ourselves we have got two teams here, two stories that are unfolding. It's going to be hard, but for Michael O'Neill and his players, they've just got to concentrate on their job. A point tonight would feel like a win for them.
No foul by Liam Kitching. The referee tonight is Lewis Smith, and there's a huge balloon on the pitch, which is dealt with by Carl Rushworth, who has dealt with most things that's being thrown at him this season.
Just a word on Frank Lampard's team selection. He's gone with a back three, which is unusual. It's only the fourth time this season he's operated that way. I think he's playing Blackburn a lot of respect because they performed ever so well at the CBS Arena.
Yeah, they were under Valérien Ismaël then. It was a game that Coventry won, but Blackburn gave them a really difficult time that particular day. Savodier on the move. Right-hand side for Coventry City, who are attacking the Blackburn end of Ewood Park in the first half here. The referee was called back for that foul on Yuki Mahashi.
Yeah, you probably expect Van Ewijk to be the real width on the right-hand side for Coventry, but that's about it. They're slipping out of his central defensive position there, just changing the picture, making it difficult for Blackburn to pick him up.
The target here, and the target's found. Mahashi getting involved again. Onyeka steps in, and there's Jack Rodoni. Just quickly surrounded by two Blackburn Rovers players. He's getting used to that kind of attention.
And with this formation that Frank Lampard has gone for, we'll see Rodoni maybe at times drift out onto this right-hand side, but when they have comfortable possession, it goes into Ellis Sims. He will get narrow, he'll try and get close and influence the game from more central areas.
Coventry City through Ephraim Mason-Clark. Going to cause Blackburn problems here. 7,500 Coventry fans are officially here. They've been everywhere in Blackburn and the surrounding areas.
For those Coventry players, it must feel like a home game. Incredible support.
These throws of Milan van Eyck have caused teams problems in the Championship this season. To throw Blackburn into chaos here, all ricocheting around. And Grimes who finds van Eyck. There's Matt Grimes again. Cultured left foot of his, looking to do the damage. Another important block in the midst of all that.
Two brave bits of defending there. At times, that's all you can do as a defender. Put your body on the line, and strong start from Coventry defensively. Blackburn standing firm. They're going to need more of that.
The Rovers fans responding here on Onyeka. There's van Eyck.
Just mentioned there the long throws of van Eyck, but set pieces overall. Been a tidal wave of goals really for Coventry. 84 goals, 25 of them have come from set pieces, so they use every avenue possible to score, and that's another reason to really admire, again, Frank Lampard and what he's asked his team to do going forward.
They are a threat from all over the pitch. That is why Coventry City stand at the gateway to greatness. The Premier League awaits. Latibodier. For the run of Ellis Sims. He's got the nod to start here ahead of Haji Wright for this contest tonight. Lovely touch from Ohashi. Here's Morishita, now Montgomery. Leviosu just having to readjust, but he did the job. It's Blackburn's third game in 7 days. Stoke last Saturday, the trip to Southampton. On Tuesday, they stayed over on the south coast after that game and flew back to Manchester on Wednesday morning, and now this tonight.
Yeah, I was up at Southampton. They were well beaten there. Most sides are getting well beaten by Southampton, but it's the matter of the goals. The first 2 goals that Michael O'Neill's team gave away, that can't happen tonight. They were really soft goals, avoidable goals.
By Kitching, moved on by Onyeka. Only Frank Onyeka's 12th game in a Coventry City shirt tonight, but he has already won the hearts of Frank Lampard and co. The CBS Arena, a fabulous winter signing.
Grimes is always going to kind of be the obvious player that's always going to play in central midfield. They had Eccles in there, they had Torp in there, who've done well. I think bringing Onyeka in, the time that he came in, the type of player he is, has really helped them push on.
The reason he was brought in was because of his Premier League experience. Latibodier.
Probably to Frank Onyeka and thought of him more as kind of a holding midfielder. Why did Coventry want him when they've got Grimes? But Matt Grimes, again, he controls the tempo. Onyeka can then become an attacking number 8. He can get forward, and he's added that to his game, and he's scoring goals as well.
Ellis Sims with a run in behind here. Cashin having to make sure he got to that. There's Aitchison taking care of business for Blackburn. She will pick up that touch from Morishita. Should we get the free kick? Shown to Ohashi.
It's an all-action player. I think it's a general attempt to try and play the ball, generally trying to get to the ball. He's not trying to look to hurt Matt Grimes. Again, that's not a defence. Again, if your challenge is, again, slightly reckless, which I think that's the problem. It is slightly reckless, and that's always going to be a yellow. He's not a malicious player. He's not trying to hurt Grimes by any means.
Bobby Thomas waiting on this side of the box for Coventry City, and he looks to make use of it. Got underneath it in the end. Coventry have been promoted to the top division because of events here at Ewood Park before. That was 1967. the last time that they won promotion to the top division. Confirmed on April night here in Blackburn, when Blackburn drew against Bolton, which meant they couldn't catch Coventry. And Jimmy Hill took Coventry City up to the top division. That's where they stayed until 2001. Now Frank Lampard is looking to follow in his footsteps. Onyeka.
I think from what we've seen in the opening few minutes, this is going to be the pattern of the game, with Coventry dominating the ball and Blackburn looking to maybe play on the counter-attack.
There's Montgomery protecting the ball well. It is the fourth time in the league that Coventry has started with a back three here tonight. Making his way forward and looking for options in the middle, and there was an acrobatic attempt in the midst of all that, and a high boot in the end from Ohashi, who has to be careful.
Absolutely, but it's good to see the Blackburn wing-backs getting forward there. Alibiosu with the cross, Ribeiro, the left wing-back, getting into the box as well as wing-backs. When you have the ball, you have to do that, but Hashi, you're right, he's got to be very careful. As I say, he's an all-action player. He's generally trying to overhead kick that ball, so again, he's not looked at Onyeka, he's not trying to take him out, but he's got to be so careful. That hand of apology goes straight up. He knows he's walking a bit of a tightrope.
Brought back into the starting lineup tonight, having been given a bit of a breather on Tuesday, Yuki Ohashi. There's Jay Da Silva making his way forward. Aitchison gets to it.
I think we have to mention with Blackburn the amount of injuries they've had. They're missing virtually a whole team of possible starters, and that, of course, is going to have a huge effect on your chances of staying in the league.
You know, the likes of Wharton, Carter, Tronstad, who's absolutely vital for Blackburn Rovers. Cantwell missing again here tonight. Plenty of important names on that injury list for Blackburn. Adam Forshaw fit enough to be on the bench. He's been vital for Michael O'Neill. With this chance tonight to seal it on the pitch, on their terms, not sit and wait. Felt the occasion, may have got to a couple in the draw against Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend. Rovers have worked this nicely. Morishita, Ohashi, the flag is up. Rushworth down to make the save in any case.
Well, it's excellent build-up work. Again, there's no panic. It's crisp, sharp passing. Mr. Hashi just goes slightly too early. Worrying for Coventry. He was in between the centre halves there. He shouldn't be in that position. He's just gone slightly too early. But build up the passing, excellent from Blackburn.
Well, they are a team this season, Blackburn, whose performances have suggested they should be higher up in the table. Valerian Ismail left here in February. It's always February here at Ewood Park. And managers tend to leave. The last three have gone in February, some of their own accord. Michael O'Neill in the job until the end of the season, and of course he's still in charge of Northern Ireland.
Yeah, if you look at the expected goals difference between what they should have scored, what they should have conceded, Blackburn would be up in the top 10, but of course what you should do, what you actually do, two very different things. And I think he's come into the club with all the injuries. He said the first thing we have to do is not concede goals. We're not going to score that many, but let's try and be really hard to beat and pick up points when we can.
Yeah, he has made them more difficult to beat, more competitive, as Michael O'Neill, his first base was to build a solid pace here at Ewood Park.
He's been in charge for 12 games. They've only scored 11 goals but only conceded 13. So I think he'd be relatively happy with that. They've won 4 games as well.
Yoya Morishita. Well, there's Alibiosu backing up play for Blackburn Rovers. Ohashi waiting. Well, that could have been awkward for Rushworth, who kept his eyes on it.
Well, there's no flag. Just look at those Coventry centre-halves, just all standing and watching. Has he timed his run correctly here? They step up as the ball goes back. But when it's whipped in, you see there's a bit of communication there between Thomas and Latabaudiere, and I think he's onside. And I think any contact on this ball, real contact down the side of the goalkeeper, it's in because there's pace on it, but the defending is dreadful.
Best chance so far, falling the way of Yuki Ohashi.
Yeah, I think Thomas is saying to Latabaudiere, you pick him up, and neither of them do anything about getting close to him. And great position for the centre forward. He should really score.
Awkward one for Bobby Thomas. There's Morishita. Now Gardner-Hickman smuggled out to Alabiosu. There's a spring in the step of Blackburn Rovers here. Morishita involved again. Alabiosu tries to take that cross out. Baraji was closing in. On the way by Radonia. The play will be halted here for a head injury. But this is a good spell for Blackburn.
Yeah, the home fans aren't happy because their team are on the front foot, but it's a head injury. The referee has to stop the game. It looks a wonderful opportunity though for Ohashi, because you've got defenders here, you've got enough defenders back, strength in numbers, but it's ball watching. So having bodies back is one thing, but actually picking up the danger men is another. You can see he's in between the two centre-halves. I think as the ball is played in, it's actually Van Ewijk who's playing him on. So the two centre-halves are doing absolutely nothing. Thomas is saying to Latabaudiere, you pick him up. You've got to get close to the centre forward. There's two defenders there, you've got to do more. Ohashi really should score.
Frank Onyeka receiving the treatment here. And Frank Lampard waiting for news.
Well, he gets hurt on Onyeka because he's done the right thing. He's got back, he's helped out his defence. He's just took a bit of a clattering. Let's hope he's okay to carry on.
And he's sat up now as Frank Onyeka. Liam Kitching having a word or two with him as the medical staff of Coventry City deal with the Coventry midfielder, who, as we mentioned before, has been absolutely vital in the second half of this season. Struggled that chemistry immediately with Matt Grimes.
There's been a positive start to the game from Coventry, but Blackburn just coming into it. For Ellis Sims, he hasn't had a touch of the ball yet. He's been playing for over 15 minutes. So again, for many strikers, when you're playing as a lone striker, it's about keeping the faith and hoping eventually you'll get a touch and maybe you'll get a chance.
He saw plenty of it in the warm-up, Ellis Sims. So Onyeka back on his feet, and here is how it happened.
As soon as the opponents have the ball, it goes out wide, across, he's going to come in. Onyeka's going to get back, he's going to be brave. It's a really good defensive touch. He's only got eyes for the ball, he's no idea what's happening behind him, and that's why he gets a whack. But it's bravery from him.
We'll be checking that he is absolutely 100% okay to continue here, Frank Onyeka.
I think Michael O'Neill will be relatively happy with these first 15-16 minutes. They're on the front foot, but most importantly, they haven't conceded that early goal.
Onyeka waits to come back on as Milan Van Ewijk prefers to launch this up the touchline. Sims as a target. I don't think he touched that either.
I think he's just brushed his hair, surely. It's his first touch.
Onyeka is back on the pitch and straight back into the action. He's lost out though. He slowly gets back to his feet again. Ribeiro is the target. Van Ewijk steps in. Blackburn have committed bodies forward. There's Milan Van Ewijk. Van Ewijk delivers the cross.
It's brilliant work from Van Ewijk. He reads the poor pass from Morishita, and he drives into the space that Ribeiro's left because he's been caught on the pitch because of the poor pass. And here's an excellent whip ball in between the defensive line and the goalkeeper. Just his teammates. There's only two of them to aim for. They can't quite reach it. That's what we expect from Van Ewijk in this position as a wing-back. He's going to get over the halfway line more and more and try and pick out his teammates with with accurate crosses.
He did come through as a winger, a Feyenoord, Milan van Ewijk. So he does prefer playing in a back four rather than in the wing-back role, but needs must here tonight. Hashi with that ball in, Baraji arriving again, and Onyeka's there again. Blackburn asking a couple of questions here. That's a silly foul to give away.
Absolutely, when you've got a team pinned in, just don't go barging into the back of Fredoni like that and just leave all the pressure. But positive work again, down the flanks, getting a cross in. But this is completely unnecessary from Gardner-Hickman. Stay on your feet. Van Ewijk there, enjoying playing as a wing back. When he plays as a right back in a back four, he spends most of the time in the opposition half anyway, because of the way that Coventry play. They want him up the pitch, providing service from the flanks.
There's Grimes. A bit of Premier League experience, having played in the top division with Swansea. Now he's looking to get back there, and he's worn the badge of Blackburn Rovers as well a decade ago.
Yeah, mentioned the Coventry positive start, but Blackburn really coming back into the game. Last 10 minutes or so, they're getting a foot on the ball. Most importantly, they're getting up the pitch, they're getting to the final third, getting crosses in, asking questions of Coventry defensively. And that chance for Ohashi really should have been taken.
Mason Clark. There's Latibodia. Onyeka. Onyeka again. There's Chadradoni, who's been flourishing on the Frank Lampard.
There's still a long way to go. It's pretty obvious that Blackburn are going to make life very hard for Coventry here. They're going to try and keep them out defensively, defend like tigers, but as we've seen, when they can, they're going to try and get forward and get a goal. It's so important for Coventry, and they won't play for a point. It can be dangerous when you go out there looking to not get beat, but Coventry all season have played to win every game, so their approach shouldn't be any different tonight.
There's Sims, Van Ewijk. Latibodia. Now Bobby Thomas. Trying to stand his ground here against Efron Mason Clark, who delivers the cross. Two Rovers players almost collide. Baraji doing the defending for Blackburn Rovers, and now they're interested in the counter-attack here. It's Montgomery. He's done well. He's got options to his left, including Ohashi. Baraji was up there too, and it was an awkward one for Rushworth, but he deals with it. Bounce just in front of him.
That's really good work by Montgomery from Blackburn, because they were pinned virtually at the edge of their own penalty area. And I do worry about, can you get back up the pitch? They did on that occasion, but Matt Grimes again getting back, helping the defensive effort, getting the block on the cross. It's not just what he does on the ball, what he does off it as well. His positioning, helping out the defence when the ball is lost, is outstanding.
He did confirm that story in his interview with Jonathan Oakes, didn't he? That as soon as his in-laws moved to Swansea, he was off same day.
I'm not sure I don't think he worded it exactly like that. It was just a coincidence, wasn't it?
Best pass he's ever made. There's Van Ewijk. Donny wants it back. He's got two for company here. Milan Van Ewijk. Ribeiro tidies up for Rovers. The header Kitching. There's Aitchison. Ohashi. Guiding that ball into the path of Morishita. He's faced by De Silva. He's away from De Silva. Ohashi waits in the middle, and Rushworth will get to it again. But Blackburn Rovers not afraid to drive at Coventry City here when the opportunity opens up, and Aitchison has stood his ground, and Blackburn are moving up the gears again, but the flag goes up to frustrate Hashi again.
It's just that final bit of quality in the final third, but you've got to be so impressed with the start that they've made. First 5-6 minutes it was all Coventry. They've come roaring back into the game, the crowd are behind them, and they're getting high up the pitch when it's possible. Yes, at times they're going to get pinned in. Bit of good fortune, stack that ball in. Quality's not there, it's too easy for the goalkeeper. But Blackburn not being pinned on the edge of their box, they're getting to the halfway line and beyond. They've got to keep doing that. It's hard work. Can they keep it up?
Blackburn starting this game 4 points above the bottom three. That game they played on Tuesday against Southampton had been brought forward because of Southampton being in the FA Cup semi-finals. After tonight, Blackburn have 2 games left, including a final day encounter here against Leicester City.
Well, they've got the points, they are above that dreaded dotted line. Look at the extra games that they played, their goal difference as well. I just wonder if that could come into play at the end of the season. And of course, Blackburn against Leicester here on the final day, that could be winner stays up.
Coventry looking to go up. A point will seal it. Onyeka. Latabodia. Van Eyck. There's Grimes. Grimes involved again as Blackburn step up the pitch and Coventry look to try and profit from any space left.
I see Grimes dropping deep to get on the ball to dictate the tempo. Gardner-Hickman is doing his best to try and get as close to Grimes as he possibly can to reduce his influence on the ball.
Yeah, he's used to that kind of attention, Matt Grimes. Southampton did do it to great effect in Southampton's victory at Coventry a few weeks ago, albeit Coventry had plenty of chances that particular afternoon. Bobby Thomas, who has a Burnley background, which he's just about kept under wraps here so far. Mason Clark, a lovely touch from him. O'Donnell bursting forward and ball driven into the side netting in the end. Jack Radoni unable to do with it what he wanted to do with it.
I'm amazed. I think he's amazed that he's just smashed that into the side netting. I mentioned at times he'd play on the right, but when they have comfortable possession, he'll drift in field, as he does here. Great control, great running with the ball, going past defender after defender, and then I'm amazed he's not pulled that ball back, or if he's thinking of shooting, keeping it on target. It's a poor strike in the end. Brilliant position that he made for himself, really, with the attacking run.
Six passes in that Coventry move before the shot was unleashed. It was not counted by myself or Andy. We had a bit of help.
Anything above 30, we're struggling.
13. Cashin. There's Ribeiro. Ribeiro once more. Gardner-Hickman. Blackburn again, moving the ball around nicely. Alabiosu. Great move for the cross, which again he has done. And a great ball in. Hashi unable to convert. But there was a push in there. The referee's given the free kick.
Once again, Blackburn with width, with a decent cross. He's saying, was it me? Is the free kick against me for a push at the far post? Presumably it is. Again, he gets in between defenders, no one really picking him up. There is a slight nudge on Latabodia, but you can see why the striker is maybe a little bit annoyed with that. I don't think he does an awful lot wrong in terms of the contact, but he should really be scoring again. He should be keeping that under the crossbar, but again, the officials have deemed that a foul, I'm not so sure.
Once again, Ryan Alabiosu causing problems on the right-hand side for Coventry.
I mentioned it earlier in the commentary. It's what you want from your wing-backs. You want them high up the pitch, then can they provide the quality? And time and again, he certainly is.
That was a blatant pullback by Onyeka. And the Rovers supporters would like a bit of punishment.
Just looking at how the game's gone so far. For Blackburn, it's not about having more of the ball than Coventry, because they haven't. But it's the threat. They've had more of a threat in terms of quality chances. They've had the better, and you wouldn't have thought that in the opening maybe half an hour of a game like this. You'd expect Coventry, yes, to dominate the ball, but to create higher quality chances, and that is not the case. So credit Blackburn for the half an hour they've played.
Rovers attacking the Darwin end of Ewood Park, where the 7,500 Coventry City fans officially here are housed. Oh, the hitman rolling the ball to Alabiosu. There's Montgomery. He's come through the youth system here at Ewood Park. To force the corner, didn't quite succeed. Baraji. He's gone for the return from Cashin. He's got the return. And Rushworth reacts.
It's just the speed of Van Ebrak, the recovery sprint that enables him to get a block on the cross. But for Blackburn, playing with real confidence. But when you're playing this well, you really do have to score. That's the problem that you would expect Coventry to eventually get a grip, get back into the game, create some chances themselves. So you really do need to be ahead when that happens.
Caused the top teams a problem or two this season, Blackburn Rovers, including, as we mentioned, that game a long time ago, back in September against Coventry, when Valérien Ismaël was in charge. A reason, perhaps, why Frank Lampard has switched his formation here tonight to match up Blackburn. By Aitchison.
You can see the licence that Jack Redoni's given when they have comfortable possession. You can go walkabout. So for Blackburn defensively, they have to communicate, tell each other where Redoni is, because who's picking him up will change as he drifts across the pitch.
There goes Sims. Mason Clark in the middle for Coventry City. Aitchison matched him stride by stride. His heart may well have been in his mouth there, the Blackburn Rovers centre-back facing his own goal, but he managed to deal with it.
Brilliant attacking play, touch and turn from Ellis Sims, but Aitchison, that could have gone horribly wrong. He did so well to turn that ball away from his own goal.
Grimes. Onyeka. There's Thomas. Seen the gap and he's gone for it, Bobby Thomas. Quick feet from the referee. Onyeka. Lifted in dangerously. Mason Clark, the flag is up here. Before Ellis Sims could get to it, McLaughlin with the important touch, but the flag was up in any case.
Plenty of the ball from Coventry. I just think they need to speed the tempo up, zip that ball around, but it's a solid defensive shape as a team that Blackburn are settling into. So then they kind of force the issue. Got to be a bit more patient. He is offside as the forward ball is played, so that's credit to Blackburn. Their shape is fairly passive, it's fairly deep across the edge of their own penalty area, but I think Coventry, they just need to speed up their play, move that ball a bit quicker to try and move Blackburn around.
Tim Schroeder was saying before the game, Frank Lampard could have been living a comfortable, quiet life right now. But look at him. His love of the game. And fire in his belly to prove himself as a top manager has driven him on and driven Coventry City on towards the Premier League.
I thought that was fascinating as well. He said he takes more pride from his team scoring than when he actually scored as a player.
You'd never be like that, would you? I know you too well.
Well, score a goal or be in charge of a team.
Selfish, celebrate what you do. Mason Clark hits the deck. Too far away from the penalty box, but the referee happy with what he saw. Ribeiro. Was the target. Alabiosu arriving again from the Arsenal youngster. Gardner-Hickman. There's Baraji. Ribeiro. Baraji again. Gardner-Hickman. Now Cashin. Morista on this side of the pitch this time. Onyeka. Grimes taking charge just in front of his central midfield partner. Blackburn hungry to win it back.
Brilliant pressure on the ball. And again, just that lack of quality, lack of care in the final third. If they get that, Blackburn, they can take the lead.
Baraji uses his body really well. Baraji again, Morista having to stretch. Morista emerges with the ball. Morista just about keeps it in play, delivers the cross. There's Gardner-Hickman. Blackburn are not here just to watch Coventry's parade to the Premier League. Here they come again. Hashi on the move this time. Van Eyck saw the danger, scurried across the pitch, and he made it count.
Well, that's what you have to do. When you see play develop on the other side of the pitch, and you expect a cross to come in, you've got to get round on the cover. I talked about his speed earlier. He absolutely sprints in to make this challenge. It's all important. If he doesn't get there, I think it's a relatively easy chance, but he appreciates the danger, steps out of his natural position, becomes a centre-half. It's a brilliant block.
The Rovers fans encouraged here. Baraji amongst those waiting. The angle changed. Gardner-Hickman. Frustrated groans now from the Rovers fans that they move this corner and it comes to nothing in the end. A real waste.
And once again, that lack of quality. It's just catching practice for Carl Rushworth. Needs to keep the pressure on, just keep the ball moving, keep the attack going.
Grimes, the conductor of the Coventry Orchestra. There's Onyeka. Latabodier. Rodoni has made the run in behind this time, and Cashin gets to it. Mason Clark. Shorty to Restan to make a bit more cash if Mason Clark does seal this deal and wins promotion to the Premier League with Coventry City. Rodoni. There's Montgomery. Cashin. It's May the 5th, 2001, when when Coventry City were officially relegated from the Premier League. Game at Villa Park, which they led by 2-0, but ultimately lost by 3-2. Our pal Lee Hendry looked like he threw himself to the ground as he won a free kick from which Aston Villa struck the winner that particular day, and You may remember the famous banner held up by a defiant Coventry City fan, "We'll be back." It's taken them some time to get back, but they are almost home.
Lee Hendry, simulation? I can't believe it.
He'll be on the phone. Offside against Coventry this time. It's a lovely goal though by Paul Merson. Pick up the top corner. It was Merson playing that day, Ginola, Southgate in the Aston Villa team.
And Lee Hendry, extraordinary. He was a lucky boy, wasn't he?
It's worth watching just to see the hairdo.
Sorry, Lee, by the way.
There's Ribeiro. Gardner-Hickman. Morishta. Now Aitchison.
Talked about it a lot already this first half. The flow of the game, I expected Coventry to come here and it'd be one-way traffic. As you see there with the peaks below the line, that will be Coventry. Expected to be much more from them, but it shows just how well Blackburn have done. They've got the ball into the final third. That's what the peaks mean. So they're getting into advanced areas when they have the ball, and they've had more of the ball than I would have expected.
Grimes, that touch opening up the pitch, and he looks to pick out Van Eerwijk, and the target has been found. Onyeka, away from Ohashi, and hits the deck.
There's no foul, he slips.
Slowly getting back to his feet as the Coventry midfielder. As Blackburn stride forward, Morishta holds on to the ball, and he's still going here. Yoya Morishta.
Alabioso had covered so much ground to get up in support of him. The Coventry back line had stepped up. There's acres of space. Morishta just has to play the wing back in.
Too much on that for Jay De Silva.
Yeah, what an opportunity that was. Again, the counter-attack, wing-back flying forward. Just play the ball in behind the Coventry back line. There's acres of space. You see he's sprinting there, just play it now. He doesn't, he runs back in field, he runs into traffic, gives the ball away. So all the hard work, all the athleticism he's shown is completely wasted. Just the wrong choice, I think he knows it.
Well, considering this team are missing so many key players, Blackburn Rovers giving a really good account of themselves here at Ewood Park tonight as they look to win this fight for survival.
Absolutely outstanding. That first half up at Southampton on Tuesday. Okay, they're up against the best side in the Championship at the moment, but they got completely overrun, gave away cheap goals. This has been a really strong first half showing from them.
After tonight, they will have played 2 more games than those around them, Blackburn Rovers. There's Bobby Thomas. Beaten to it by Ribeiro, who gallops forward here. And he gets the better of Bobby Thomas, who slips. And then Ribeiro goes down, the referee on the scene. The referee did have a little wait, then he blew the whistle. And then Blackburn thought the chance to play the advantage was on.
Well, the referee knows it's a foul, but when the ball breaks back into midfield, he's not absolutely sure Blackburn are going to retain possession. So I think he's trying to let the game flow, but then just goes to his whistle slightly too early. I think there's the foul as Ribeiro is blocked off. And when the ball breaks there, again, he thinks, are Blackburn going to get back on the ball? He's not completely sure. Again, he doesn't really look behind in the referee, so I can understand why he's blown up and given the free kick, because it was a foul. It's a shame, though, because Blackburn still had the ball, but he didn't know it.
Gardner-Hickman, he's looking for the run here of Morishta. Here is Yoya Morishta, scrambling around and eventually loses out. Nice idea. And the decision goes against Yoya Morishta, who they do love around here. He's a bit of a character, is Yoya Morishta.
Yeah, I think his reaction maybe tells you, does the Coventry player actually play the ball from his right foot to his left. And that's why the throw should go Blackburn's way.
He's not too far away from the training ground. He's really embraced the area, has Yoya Marista. Likes a Sunday lunch in the area, don't we all?
How on earth do you know that?
There's Van Ewijk. Now Sims. It's Rodoni. Silva's cross. Sims was in the middle. Onyeka arriving too. Moved on by Latibeaudiere and an advanced position again. There's Mason Clark. Blackburn trying to find a way out. Now Grimes. As Coventry survived the handball appeal. Latibeaudiere was a telling ball. And from Mason Clark, unable to direct it on target.
Well, the Blackburn fans are giving it to the referee. I think for that earlier free kick that he gave when Blackburn had the ball. The ball is, I think, smashed against, I think it's Jada Silva. But again, his arm's in a natural position. It's close to the ball. That's not handball. I don't care what the Blackburn fans say, but I think Mason Clark does ever so well to get something on this, because he's onside. Maybe if he goes at it with his left foot, he has a chance of maybe keeping it on target, but does really well, considering he doesn't probably see it till late. I think with Coventry going forward, they've really struggled. I think Blackburn have defended so well. A couple of early blocks, that maybe break from Rodoni has been as good as it's been for them.
Well, as it stands, this would do for Coventry City. One more point to seal their return to the Premier League after a generation away. Ribeiro hunted down by Rodoni, who was taken down.
The 25-year wait for Coventry is incredible in itself, but what they've been through in those 25 years is quite extraordinary. It's just a case of perseverance. And the fans, the players, the club just keeping on believing that things can change. And of course, they are going to be back in the Premier League, which is extraordinary news.
Sitting comfortably at the moment is Doug King, who made that huge call to change head coach Robbins, who has written his legend at Coventry City, replaced by Frank Lampard, who was about to take them back to the Premier League. Rodoni with the free kick. There's Marista. The check of his shoulders, knew that Rodoni was lurking.
Yeah, bringing in Frank Lampard has worked really well, but also the lack of change. If you consider what Coventry did last season, losing to Sunderland in those playoff semi-finals, they were the better team. Now, most clubs maybe would have said, right, we need to rip it up, get 5 or 6 new players in. They didn't. They just added to the quality squad they had, and they backed themselves to do what they've done this season.
Well, those Sunderland celebrations were ringing in the ears of the Coventry supporters and players for the summer. They had to pick themselves up. Consistency key for Coventry. And also, Frank Lampard set them the task to improve on their defensive work. And they're being asked a question here. Alabiozu plays the ball forward. Morista again. There was a handball appeal in the midst of all that, but Coventry City survive.
Well, it seems to hit Latibeaudiere more than anything else. There's not too many complaints from the Blackburn players, but another golden opportunity that they really should score from.
Ribeiro. Blackburn have been the more threatening team in this game so far. Mason Clark, Sims pointing to where he wants it. But McLaughlin is in the way.
Well, Coventry have had more of the ball, but all the threat really has come from Blackburn.
Rovers get the free kick.
Alabiozu down that right-hand side is like a man possessed. He's playing football on fast forward. He's just covering so much ground, and then finally they're providing some quality. It's a brilliant pullback. And Latibeaudiere, he does the right thing. He gets in between the ball striker and the target. He just gets a block on it. It's not handball. He turns his body. His arms are close to the body. It's not handball, but it's another really good opportunity for Blackburn to score.
Almost had the 3 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Onyeka. There's Van Erwijk.
And yet again, it's another championship game where pre-kick-off we think one thing's going to happen. In this first half, I think how Blackburn have played, how good they've been, the chances they've created have become as a real surprise. They've been excellent.
Coventry City are halfway there, halfway towards the point that they will need to seal promotion to the Premier League. 130 miles away from here, a City still holds its breath, but Blackburn Rovers have given a really good account of themselves in that first 45. They've been the more threatening team, but as yet they've been unable to break through Coventry. At the break, Blackburn Rovers 0, Coventry City 0.
Ewood Park hosts a huge game at both ends of the championship this evening. So far, 0-0 between Blackburn Rovers battling for survival and promotion chasing Coventry City. Joby and Tim with me here this evening. We know that they're halfway there to the point they need Coventry for promotion tonight. Joby, Frank Lampard told us before the game that Blackburn would give them a test tonight, and so it's proved.
Yeah, Blackburn have been absolutely brilliant. Coventry haven't quite got going yet tonight. We spoke about them being in limbo, and they've sort of looked a little bit like that. Blackburn are the ones who've really created some good opportunities. Ali Biosu on this right-hand side has been absolutely brilliant, and Ahashi has to score. That is a big chance. We spoke about him before the game, just probably isn't as clinical as he needs to, but again, does really well. Great movement in behind, and just has to find the contact to score that.
I'm really surprised the way they've set up Blackburn. I thought they'd be more pragmatic, but they've not. They've really had a go. They believe that they can affect this game, and they certainly are. They should be ahead. There was a push there at the back stick for that one. Morishita's been the threat all night. You know, he looks to break from midfield areas, and he gets his chances. But I think that was harsh. I mean, the header doesn't go in anyway, and I think this is the Morishita chance. This is the great tackle, isn't it? It just comes across there. Fantastic last-ditch tackle there, but it was. I think he should have gone with his right foot. I'm not sure it was Morishita who was coming. I'm not sure, but there was a few good chances from Blackburn. But I think Mike O'Neill will be absolutely delighted the way it's turned out at the moment.
I think performance-wise, yes. I think he'd be disappointed they haven't taken one of these again. Ali Biosu does great there, pulls it back. They've got to find a way to take that opportunity, because we do know when Coventry do go out the other end and find that bit of quality. And
this was their best chance at the end of the half, wasn't it?
They're going to have the players to put it away. Listen, good delivery, really difficult one for the wide man coming in that far post. Just quite be able to sort his feet out, but there's a little threat right at the end of the half to show, even though they haven't played well, they can still go and score a goal, and I think that'd be the disappointment from Blackburn.
Yeah, because that chance at the end of the half was pretty much as good as it got from an attacking sense for promotion chasing Coventry City. Their fans watching back home in a fan zone tonight. Nothing to cheer for them so far. A couple of heads in hand moments. Hoping to see their side clinch promotion tonight. They'd love to do it with a comfortable win, but it has not proved that way, has it? 25 years they've waited. That's now down to 45 minutes for Coventry. But Blackburn are certainly making life uncomfortable for them and have the better of those first half chances as they go for the win that would take them a giant step towards survival. Big 45 minutes on the way. Six live Premier League games for you this weekend, starting with the Saturday night football tomorrow. De Zerbi Spurs against his old side Brighton, 5 p.m. on Sky Sports Premier League. Super Sunday begins with build-up from 12:30 ahead of 3 2 o'clock kickoffs with the Merseyside derby on main event, Villa Sunderland, Forest Burnley on Sky Sports Plus. And then, is this the type of decider? Manchester City Arsenal kickoff 4:30. And the weekend rounds off with a Monday night football, a London derby, Palace West Ham from 6:30 on Sky Sports Premier League. Super 6 is back tomorrow. Could you make it back-to-back winners of £250,000? Mark from Hertfordshire correctly predicted all 6 scorelines to win that £250,000. Have your say for free by simply scanning the QR code on your screen or head to the app or the website. Entries close at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Very best of luck to you. So, one more point is all Coventry and Frank Lampard need, but Blackburn is certainly giving him plenty to ponder. Will he look to the bench for solutions? He's not short of options. 43 goals among his substitutes. A big second half comes next.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just can't stop thinking about Tesco matching Aldi prices.
Right. I thought you might be worried about what just happened to Carl.
It just doesn't make any sense. And only on some products.
I can see his brains. Oh no. No.
Seems to me, if people want Aldi prices...
Oh, not the ball.
Just go to Aldi. I mean, it's not complicated.
So Coventry City, 45 minutes away from promotion to the Premier League. They started the night needing a point. A point is what they have at the halfway point, but there were nervy moments in that first half. Blackburn Rovers with the best of the chances. Can Coventry find a goal to ease those nerves and to go up more emphatically? Let's find out. Second half with Andy Hinchcliffe and Gary Weaver.
Thank you, Jules. Well, sometimes the final step can be the hardest step. Coventry City looking to see this through to seal promotion back to the Premier League. No changes by either team at the break. That is the fifth goalless half of football at Ewood Park in a row, and Coventry's fifth successive half without a goal as well. Well, Blackburn were excellent in that first 45.
Yeah, I think Michael O'Neill, half-time, would have said to his team, keep doing what you're doing, but can you just be a bit more clinical? They were excellent going forward. Alvioso in particular causing so many problems, the wing-back flying forward down the right-hand side, and can he do it again? Can Coventry kind of stop his influence? We'll see.
Well, in terms of points gathered since Michael O'Neill arrived at Ewood Park, Blackburn are ninth in the championship table. So it shows you how they've been doing. Michael O'Neill, who fancied a shot at club management again. As I mentioned earlier, his deal ends here in the summer. There's a desire to stay here should Blackburn stay in the championship.
What's really surprised me here under Michael O'Neill, yes, they've been defensively solid, but going forward their numbers haven't been great. But in this game, I think they've shown what they're capable of. They can create chances, just need to be clinical and take one.
Coventry attacking the end where their 7,500 fans are gathered here. Plenty more watching back at home, 130 miles south of here. Hoping to host the biggest party in the city for almost 40 years. Right now, they are on course. There's De Silva. Grimes. Latabaudiere. Ball played forward by Latabaudiere. It's kept in play, and Ellis Sims is lurking. It's Sims trying the acrobatic attempt, and the high boots causes the referee to bring play to a halt.
Well, Ribeiro is a lucky boy here because he gets caught ball watching. It's a fairly predictable long forward ball. He just completely misjudges it. Van Everk gets the run on him. He's never in a good defensive position, and Van Everk with his pace can keep it alive. But McLaughlin, that is such a brave header. He's got to go and attack that. He was always going to do that, but it was too easy for Van Everk to get in and provide the cross.
If you did miss the team news earlier, Coventry have switched to a back three here tonight, matching up Blackburn Rovers. The Rovers, they gave them a tough time at Coventry back in September, a game which Coventry did win by 2-0 that particular day.
Yeah, but Frank Lampard, they've not been at their attacking best so far. We look at his bench with Haji Wright, Brandon Thomas-Asante, Romain Esse. He's got attacking players on there, and also he could change his system if he feels he needs to. But again, at 0-0, they get the point that they need, so there's no need really to take too many risks here.
There's Bobby Thomas. Grimes. Kitching. Bobby Thomas again as Ohashi backs off. Thomas has picked out that pass, and it's a perfect ball to find Jay De Silva. Looks to link up with Mason Clark. Aitchison is there for Blackburn. There's De Silva again. Now Jack Radoni, who scored 5 goals in his last 7 games. Frank Lampard didn't want to build him up too much, but felt like he looked like a Champions League player in the win over Derby. Praise indeed. There's Jay De Silva. Mason Clark. He's got 3 around him. And there is Coventry's number 3, De Silva. Matt Grimes with the cross, asking a question at the far post, and Kitching was trying to latch onto it.
That's a decent ball in. It's good defending though from Erin Cashin, getting round on the cover, being really strong, getting goal side of his man. But better from Coventry, sharper from them.
Well, a flashpoint here involving Ribeiro and Onyeka. Ribeiro getting to know Frank the Tank.
Yeah, I think for Ribeiro, I think pick your battles. Frank Onyeka is not a man to go up against one-on-one. Always bring a couple of mates along with Frank the Tank.
Yeah, have a look over your shoulder, make sure you've got them with you. He didn't name himself Frank the Tank, by the way. It was a coach of his previous club. Card is out, and it's shown the way of Onyeka, and now the way of Ribeiro.
Sometimes the referee will just have a word with both players. If 2 players are going at it, and just say, look, just calm down, boys. I don't want to yellow card you, but I think again it's that reaction, that coming together, the head-to-head, and that's what the referee sees and thinks, look, I'd love to leave it, but I'm going to have to give you yellow cards because you can't carry on doing that.
Thomas to pick out the run of Van Eyck. It was a wonderful pass from Thomas a few moments ago to set De Silva away. Bobby Beckenbauer.
It can't be such an effective pass when you play with wing-backs and you've got a centre-half who can drill it into wide areas. Connor Cody, when he used to drop and play into in a back 3, he could, I know he's a midfielder by trade, could kind of spray balls out and stretch defences by his long-range passing.
There's a really good atmosphere inside here, and Michael O'Neill did say before the game, look, it's great that Coventry City have brought 7,500 here because it will only inspire the home fans and Rovers players too to play in such an atmosphere. Rovers with a player down as Coventry move forward. Here's De Silva, Mason Clark. Blackburn still short-handed here. Kitching. Mason Clark finds Grimes. Still Blackburn down to 10. Coventry, as is their right play on. Grimes. Here's Barachi, who's down on the far side. Goes Onyeka. Slowly getting back to his feet now, and Coventry got the free kick in any case.
I think Gardner-Hickman's actually given the free kick away to stop the game, but he's given a free kick away in a really dangerous area. So I can understand what he's doing, because he wants his teammate to get some treatment. I think that's where you really ideally want to give a free kick away to stop the game. It looks like Barachi maybe gets a knee in the back. Can be really painful, or maybe in the buttocks, which is even worse, Gary, as you well know.
Standing next to you, yes. They've come to party. It's away from Montgomery, and Barachi wins the duel. And Blackburn Rovers away on the counter here, but it's played just behind Morista. Morista emerges with the ball, and Coventry get enough bodies back, but Blackburn aren't done yet. Alabiosu. Alabiosu. It's Morista!
Blackburn Rovers aren't here to watch Coventry's parade and wave them up to the Premier League. They've got their own collective existence. And Coventry's party right now has fallen flat at Ewood Park.
Yes, Blackburn, the party poopers, no more than they deserve, by the way. They have approached the game quite brilliantly at both ends of the pitch. I thought the chance had gone when the counter-attack kind of slowed down. It's a poor pass from Baraggi, but they just managed to keep the ball and keep lots of bodies high up the pitch. Alabiosu, no surprise, look how high up the pitch he is. It's his strike that gets deflected so kindly. But he sorts his feet out so well. I'm sure there's maybe a touch here off Bobby Thomas, which maybe gives the goalkeeper no chance. But as I say, I think it's what Blackburn deserve. They get the ball into the box. Yeah, the touch is all important, but he's on the stretch, the centre-half. Can't block it fully. And Blackburn get the goal they richly deserve.
He's been buzzing around the pitch all night, Yo-Yo Morista. They love him around here. They love him even more now. Where's the badge? There's the badge. A touch off Bobby Thomas to defeat Rushworth. And Blackburn Rovers have the goal, which they richly deserve.
He was part of that initial counter-attack. It was a poor pass from Baraggi behind him, but they managed to keep the ball. And what did he do? He got into a goal-scoring position, so he was there to benefit. Yes, it's deflected, but it's because he's in an advanced position getting his shots in that they score.
Baraggi seen off, legally so. Here's Van Erwijk. Sims gives chase. Cashin gets to it.
Well, it's probably only delaying the inevitable with Coventry getting to the Premier League, but what this will do for Blackburn, if they can hold on here, long way to go. They can't sit back and try and protect this. Coventry will come at them. This could be a huge 3 points for them if they hold on.
Well, they will break through the 50-point barrier, which you never know, still might not be enough the way it's going at the bottom end. At the top end, here come Coventry City, Kitching, but it's dealt with again. Now Bobby Thomas. Grimes. Even if Coventry City don't get the point they need here, it could still happen for them this weekend, but they want to do it in style, do it on their terms, on this pitch here tonight. But they need a goal.
Well, the top goal scorers in the league, so they're more than capable. They've just really struggled to create good chances to break Blackburn down, and that's down to how well the home team have played. They need to keep that up if they are to keep Coventry out.
Van Erwijk. Cashin is there again for Blackburn Rovers. Spent the first half of the season at Birmingham City on loan there from Brighton, but didn't really nail down a permanent place in the Birmingham back line. Aaron Cashin. So he headed off to Blackburn. Mason Clark. Again, Michael O'Neill was right. The atmosphere inside here has inspired his team.
You've got to remember, it's been a really tough week as well. 3 games in 7 days, so to recover from that, not exact mauling, they were good in the second half at Southampton, but losing 3-0, it does dent confidence. And they've recovered ever so well, performed so well here so far.
Still plenty of football to be played. Jay De Silva smuggles that through to Rodoni, who's hunted down by Gardner Hickman, and Blackburn get the goal kick. It was never going to be straightforward, was it? They have been through so much. They've seen it all. They've played them all. They know it is coming. The invite is in the post to the Premier League, but when will it arrive?
The Championship is never, ever straightforward.
Looks like changes are afoot from Coventry City. G. Wright being ready, Victor Torp also being ready. Aitchison.
I can completely understand the changes Frank Lampard's going to make. His team haven't been good enough. They've been outrun, they've been outplayed so far, so they need to change that. Maybe the substitutes can do it for him.
The Blackburn end of Ewood Park is rocking right now. There's the Silva. There's our two other sides of this famous old stadium in the town of Blackburn.
The temptation for Blackburn could be to creep back to the edge of your own penalty area and try and protect that 1-0 lead, but they got the 1-0 lead by how they played up to that point, so keep trying to do that, but it is human nature to try and protect it. It's so important Michael O'Neill gets the message on to try and get up the pitch when we can, get that all-important second goal.
Triple change on the way there from Coventry. Romain Esse also about to come on. We're hearing Alice Sims, Joel Latibodia and Frank Onyeka will be the three to make way. Potentially a change of system. Alabiosu. De Silva slams in.
I think at 0-0 Frank might have changed the personnel but maybe not changed the shape. Now they're chasing the game. It makes sense to put on attacking players and go to a back four.
Alabiosu on the move again. Ahashi's in the middle. And taking evasive action was Bobby Thomas.
Well, he's only got one target here, Alabiosu. So he tries to pick him out as early as he possibly can. Getting ball around the corner, poor defending. So much ball watching. See Ohashi there, he's in between two defenders. It's virtually impossible for the wing-back to pick him out, but positive from Blackburn. They need to keep doing this. Get up the pitch, get that second goal.
Baraji's in there. McLaughlin's at the back of the queue. He's never scored a senior goal, Sean McLaughlin. Cashin got his head on it. Aitchison's there. Coventry trying to find a way out. Quickly involved and Rushworth will gather. And a quick release from the Coventry City keeper. And it comes to nothing as it bounces away from Rodoni. Time for the Coventry changes as they look to turn the tide in this contest. Romain Esse replaces Joel Latibodia. A winter loan signing from Crystal Palace. Alice Sims withdrawn. On comes Haji Wright. He will look to add to his goal tally of 17 this season. And Frank Onyeka withdrawn. And on comes Victor Thorpe, who's lost his place in the Coventry City midfield to Onyeka since Onyeka's arrival.
I think switching back to a back four, this is the more recognisable shape we expect from Coventry, with Thorpe and Grimes in midfield, Esse on one flank, Mason Clark on the other, and Rodoni more central in behind Haji Wright.
Mason Clark. How will this affect Coventry City now? Rodoni slides that ball through. Haji Wright involved immediately. Todd has to take evasive action. He's away from home. And that threat from Coventry comes immediately.
Again, it's getting Rodoni on the ball, in advanced positions, in his best position. He's in pockets of space, in behind the central striker. Things happen. Haji Wright, what an introduction this would have been, but he's off balance, keeping us really well. And they just about survived, Blackburn, but they're going to be under more pressure now with these changes.
Well, he's had a fabulous season in goal for Blackburn, has Balazs Tot, who Rovers supporters fear losing in the summer. Ribeiro getting to know Haji Wright now. It goes in towards that far post, and could have gone anywhere with the ball. Eventually dealt with one of the Blackburn Rovers defenders. Morishita again endearing himself to the home supporters.
The one thing you have to have when you're battling relegation, if you're not abundant in terms of the goals you're going to score, is work rate, is organisation, is discipline. I think we've seen that from Blackburn and more going forward. Really good chances and do deserve to be in the lead.
will worry those around Blackburn Rovers. Those who've seen Blackburn struggle with injuries, but not struggle in terms of performances, albeit they ran into a fabulous Southampton team on Tuesday night on the South Coast. But Michael O'Neill chewing calmly as he plots a victory here.
I just think, is it Marista who's just been yellow carded there? Not sure what for.
It was booked. Here's Marista again. He might have injured himself. He's okay now as Gardner Hickman commits the foul and he's booked.
Yeah, he's just got his head down there, he's dribbling with the ball, he's running into Coventry players, just overruns it, goes chasing it. If you do that and you don't get a touch on the ball, you know what's going to happen. He does well initially, but there just slightly gets away from him, just tempted in to try and nick it, catches his man who's looking to break away.
So Gardner Hickman booked. Likewise, Yoya Morishita. Signing from Legia Warsaw, and Valerian Ismail was aware of him because Valerian Ismail was in talks to take over Legia Warsaw before he took over Blackburn Rovers, so he knew all about Yoya Morishita.
So he'd done his homework on one team and then picked one of their players.
Brutal.
I like his style.
Brutal and ruthless.
Sounds like me and you, doesn't it? Brutal and ruthless. Not sure who's who though.
Coming to a stage near you. There's Alabiosu. He's been excellent driving forward down this right-hand side for Blackburn. Gardner Hickman runs into trouble. Mason Clark. Actually right up there with him. And Romain Esse. Romain Esse, seen off.
Said about Blackburn getting up the pitch when they can. They've got to be really solid though if the ball is lost, because you don't want to be kind of open, you don't want plenty of space when Coventry have the dynamic pacey runners that they have on the counter-attack. You want a really tight, compact game.
Well, they have kept 3 clean sheets in their last 5 championship games of Blackburn Rovers. Another clean sheet now will see them move 7 points clear of the relegation zone and will delay Coventry City's party for now. Alabiosu going to go on the outside of Jada Selby, delivers the cross again, time after time.
I've seen a lot of wing-backs this season. This is probably the best performance I've seen from one. Clearly he's very athletic, he's very quick, but also the quality he provides, consistent quality, is outstanding. He has run Coventry and De Silva down that side ragged.
I've got cramp just watching him. He's been excellent tonight, Ryan Alabiosu.
I did play that position, but I didn't play it like he plays it.
I remember. Thanks for bringing that back. Blackburn looking for something from that corner kick, and that is good movement by Montgomery, but he couldn't direct it on target. It's Michael O'Neill plotting changes here. They have put such a shift in here tonight. Their 3rd game in 7 days. A squad which has been missing so many of its key players. Another change is imminent from Coventry. Brandon Thomas Asante will replace Jack Gradoni shortly. That's the change being planned by Frank Lampard. Cashin. Rashi has made the move here. The flag goes up again. Da Silva. There's Haji Wright. Biosu gets to that, he's everywhere. Bero back to Malash Tot. Keeper deals with it. But this has dropped away from Mason Clark. Mason Clark and Blackburn defending stoutly.
Some challenge from Cash in there, he gets man and ball. It's a strong challenge, it's not a foul.
Typical Cashland challenge. But Coventry City on the approach again here. Redoni unable to get to it. Moved on by Torp again. Redoni unable to make an impact. Romain Esse. Redoni with the flick off the post. And now the flag goes up. But Jack Redoni so close to scoring the goal.
Well, like every Coventry attacker, had so little impact on the game that we thought this was his moment. Coventry fans certainly thought that was their moment to get the equaliser, the point that they need. Just starting to get a little bit laboured, Blackburn, a little bit tired. I think again when he flicks that ball on, because it doesn't go in, it's Haji Wright that's in the offside position. He's the player that's been flagged, but Redoni, I just can't believe he's not scored, he's not took that into the side netting.
This is the reaction in the fan zone in Coventry. 130 miles south of here. The change made. Jack Redoni so close to levelling up. He is off, and Brandon Thomas Asante, who could have been a Blackburn Rovers player last season, he comes on.
Brandon Thomas Asante has had an excellent season in terms of goal scoring. He's had an injury layoff as well, but in a game like this it makes sense to bring him on.
Ryan Hedges, good to see him back fit, replacing Musa Baraji for Blackburn.
I just mentioned it looked as if Blackburn starting to get a little bit laboured, a little bit tired, losing the ball on the edge of their own box, so maybe just freshening the team up. It's sensible for Michael O'Neill, but you don't want to lose that momentum they've had throughout the game with the starting 11. So can Hedges just kind of seamlessly fit into what's happened already?
Just recovered from a broken leg, Ryan Hedges, which he suffered here on New Year's Day against Wrexham. Gives Rovers good balance on that left-hand side. There's Ryan Hedges. Rovers going to play as that left-sided number 10. Having replaced Baraji. Romain Esse. No foul there on Victor Torp. Free kick now goes the way of Blackburn Rovers.
Well, he's just joined the party, hasn't he, Ryan Hedges, but getting right into the thick of it. It's not always easy when you've had a broken leg. You can maybe be worried about challenges that you're going to make, and he's fully confident. And he had to be there because there was players flying in all around him.
Waiting for that final step. Got a beer chilling at home. It's been chilling for over a week now. Waiting to celebrate what would be a fabulous achievement for Frank Lampard. It is coming, but at the moment, not tonight.
A beer, singular.
Yep, professional.
Could well be a massive bottle though, couldn't it?
Grimes. Mason Clark. Aitchison. Did he take Mason Clark before the ball? No, is the answer. A robust challenge from the Blackburn centre-back.
Yeah, sometimes as a defender, when you're up against a tricky winger, you've got to leave a bit on them. Just make Mason Clark think again when he picks the ball up and Aitchison comes flying across.
19-year-old making an impact. Mason Clark delivers the ball and Tot gathers.
It's a wicked ball and it just needs a touch, attacking touch, defensive touch, doesn't matter because the pace that's on the ball, it's moving towards the target. Good concentration, good positioning by the goalkeeper.
At the other end, Rushworth gets to that for Coventry City. Remember, Coventry need just 1 point. 1 point and they're back in the Premier League. One goal will do it right now. But Blackburn have been excellent here tonight.
Coventry deservedly top of the table. They will get to the Premier League, but so far Blackburn have been the better team and deserved the lead.
Mason Clark away from Morista. From Mason Clark, no trouble for Tot.
I can understand why he shoots. Opens up nicely for him, but it's a long way out. Tries to go for pure power, and it's a poor connection. It's way off target, really. Oh, he's better than this. Coventry are better than this. I do feel we're going to get a game within a game here with the change of shape for Frank Lampard, the attacking personnel he sent on. Naturally, I think that just 1-0 Blackburn are going to creep back towards the edge of their own penalty area. So we've got a really intriguing 15 minutes ahead.
De Silva. Kitching. There's Bobby Thomas. Kitching again. Grimes. Coventry without a goal in their last 2 games, as Ali mentioned before, the leading scorers in England this season.
I do feel we've got a game within a game, and this is at the stage of the game where Blackburn do concede goals. They have throughout the course of this season.
We'll tie this play apart for these Blackburn Rovers players. A gruelling schedule. And as we mentioned a couple of times, I'd like us to repeat ourselves, a squad which is stretched. Adam Forshaw will be coming on shortly for Blackburn. Montgomery. We're hearing it will be Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who is on the yellow card, who will make way for the arrival of Adam Forshaw. From Mason Clark. Coventry looking for a hero here. Swung in dangerously by Grimes. For the first time, Cashin doing the defending.
Look at that defensive desire, determination to get to the ball first. It is a wicked delivery. Just made it his, Cashin.
So the Rovers team have been excellent here tonight. The Rovers fans have been excellent as well. Bobby Thomas gets a flick on that.
Sometimes players get the fans going tonight. And that is exactly what has happened. I think they've seen the Blackburn fans right from the off what their team was all about, and they've got right behind them.
Well, there's a swing from Haji Wright, but again, Tot is not troubled.
It's a chance, it's just a really poor connection. Throughout the game, they're going to create more chances than this, Coventry, and they have the attacking quality. It's undoubted. The amount of different goal scorers they've got. That was poor, though, from their top scorer, Haji Wright.
Rovers edging towards safety. A reminder, if it stays this way, they'll 51 points. Who knows what will be needed to survive this time around, and of course all eyes on West Bromwich Albion as well, but this is how it looks right now. Goes behind from Jay De Silva.
It's good work from Montgomery, because he puts pressure on De Silva without fouling. It would have been very easy just to knock him off the ball, give the free kick away. He didn't, but he forced the error.
Well, as the Blackburn Rovers change, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who's been patrolling that midfield area tonight, snapping into challenges, covering the ground. He's withdrawn, and on comes Adam Forshaw.
Yeah, there's going to be more challenges to be made, so I think it's sensible. He's on a yellow card, Gardner-Hickman, but he's had a wonderfully disruptive game in central midfield, and I think bringing on someone as experienced as Adam Forshaw, that is the right move at this point.
Well, Adam Forshaw being serenaded onto the pitch because he's been excellent here under Michael O'Neill. Blackburn actually released him at the end of last season, then picked up the phone and re-signed him. Don't turn that phone off, Andy.
I've been retired 24 years. I doubt anyone is interested in my services.
Yeah, even before retirement. Can Coventry get what they need here? Handball by Haji Wright.
There's no real complaints from Haji Wright, so I presume it is handball. It's a pretty obvious one that comes out just to cushion the ball. You're not going to get away with that.
You mentioned, though, seriously, how long you've been retired, 24 years. Coventry City haven't been in a top division for 25 years. There are supporters who would have grown up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, with Coventry being a regular feature of the top division. They had quite a few escapes to stay in the top division, but eventually 2001 was the year they said goodbye. And no one knew then the incredible, difficult, horrendous journey they had to go on to even get back to being near the Premier League.
It's a terrible couple of years for football fans, isn't it? Coventry's relegation and my retirement.
I know which bothered most. Into the final 10 minutes. Coventry City looking for the goal, which would send them back to the Premier League. Get them there tonight. There's Mason Clark. De Silva. Grimes. Grimes with another inviting ball in. Again, though, Blackburn have come up with the answer. They've done it time after time tonight when tested. Grimes again. De Silva with a chance for him to measure the cross. McLaughlin in the way that time. Thomas steps forward. Van Eerwijk. Essay. Van Eerwijk's on the outside. Here is Van Eerwijk to deliver that cross. And Tot holds on.
Yeah, it's a difficult cross to make. You're running out of pitch, you're moving at full speed. Try and pick out a teammate when you're in that position is very tough.
Well, Balazs Tot has held onto the ball for too long, so a corner awarded here for Coventry. How key could that be?
See Brandon Thomas-Asante, he thought his team were getting a free kick, but it's only a corner, Brandon.
Well, the referee was counting down, and Tot took too long. And Coventry, with this corner kick, driven in towards that near post, and it comes to nothing initially, as Morishta dealt with it. And Balazs Tot, a relieved man.
Well, you can blame the goalkeeper for holding on to the ball too long, but of course he needs an option up the pitch, so his teammates, certainly the attackers, are to blame as well. You know, he wants to launch that ball forward, so he needs to play it to somebody. So he's just waiting and waiting. No one makes a move, holds on to it too long, but they get away with it.
Well, how about this for a battle down at the bottom? Fratton Park. Portsmouth were excellent against Ipswich on Tuesday night. They host Leicester tomorrow, 11 o'clock, Sky Sports Football. Millwall, who are looking to try and be Coventry's +1 to the Premier League on the invite. They host Queen's Park Rangers, 12:30, Sky Sports Plus. Oxford going to Derby tomorrow, 12:30 on Sky Sports Plus. And on Sunday, we are in Suffolk, Ipswich Town against Middlesbrough. It is colossal. Sunday, 11:30, Sky Sports Football.
Both ends of the table, the big games just keep coming. So competitive the league this season, but Blackburn just starting to give away unnecessary free kicks, cheap free kicks in dangerous areas. I know it's hard. They're trying to defend well, get to the ball, just overstepping the mark and just inviting pressure.
Coventry City fans behind that goal, willing a goal here, the goal. Bobby Thomas amongst those waiting in the middle. And looking to make his move now!
Is that the moment? Is that the historic goal? Coventry City fans roar like they haven't roared in decades. 3 decades away. Is tonight the night they make it back to the Premier League? Bobby Thomas writes his name right now into Coventry City folklore.
Well, it's the 85th, and probably most important goal of the season for Coventry. And it was always the worry for Blackburn as they tire, they give cheap free kicks away, and they could just get caught out. It's a quality ball in. There's bags of pace on it to just help it on its way. Bobby Thomas, what a leap to get to the ball, way above anybody else, just helps it on its way. And that's all that the Coventry fans, players wanted. Just get that goal back, get the point. They've been up against it. And it's another set play that has paid dividends. It's not just about open play, set plays. 26th goal of the season from set plays. And it looks like it's taking Coventry back to the Premier League.
Oh, Bobby, what have you just done? Look at this. 130 miles away. And that is just one place in Coventry. Imagine the rest of it. Bobby Thomas, his biggest goal yet.
But it's such a considered header. Consider the pressure. You know, he desperately wants to score, wants to do the right thing. But his leap was incredible. But it was just the right type of header you need when there's pace on the ball. It's in the right area. It's right on top of you. Don't try and do too much. Help it on its way. Use the pace that's on the ball. It's a brilliant header.
Coventry City, just over 3 minutes plus additional time away from the Premier League. It's happening, and it could be happening tonight.
Tonight, Coventry, they've been, way off their best, but once again, whether it be open play, set plays, they find a way to score a goal, and that's all that mattered tonight, was just getting back on level terms. Let's see what they do here. Are they going to go for it, try and win the game? Because they don't need to.
There's Grimes. What's the height of Coventry's ambition here? Because this will do it.
And I also think before the game, Blackburn would have taken a point. So, again, if Coventry just keep the ball and just run the clock down, I think Blackburn might say, you know what, that kind of suits us as well. We'll take a point.
De Silva. There's Grimes. There's Torp. Well, we mentioned, or asked what's the height of Coventry's ambition, what's the height of Blackburn's ambition here? Will they take this point? 2 games left for Blackburn after this to win the fight for their championship existence. Will they be happy to back off here? Looks like at the moment.
And also Bobby Thomas, remember, the shot that was deflected off him that actually gave Blackburn the lead, so he's redeemed himself in terms of being involved in the goal they conceded. But the story for him of this game will be the goal he scored and what it means, where it takes Coventry.
There's Grimes, as Blackburn suddenly look to close in. Away by McLaughlin. Mason Clark, Jay De Silva. It will be a Coventry
Coventry City corner. Now, how many players do they commit forward here?
It's another example of what Coventry have got and why they're going to get promoted. Is they're not just a quality team, a goal-scoring team. They have character and resilience. You know, they've not been the best team tonight, but they've got back on level terms, and that's all that they wanted.
Look what football does. Look what it does. It touches the soul. Coventry fans in tears behind that goal because they know how close they are. Remember where they've been, exiled from their own city twice. One step away from non-league football. And now, here's a story. Here's Coventry-born Josh Eccles coming on to see it through. And Ephraim Mason-Clark is withdrawn. And the answer to our question was Coventry are committing most players forward. They want to do this in style here. Torp sends that ball in. Again, Bobby Thomas was in that conversation. 5 additional minutes. That's how close Coventry City are.
It's a brilliant ball in from Torp, but just look at the leap. He's way above anybody else there, Bobby Thomas, and just helps that ball on its way. He did exactly what was needed, and that's what it means to the Coventry fans here, and the celebrations throughout Coventry as a city as well. The Premier League is absolutely where they deserve to be.
That moment will live forever with Bobby Thomas and those Coventry City supporters behind that goal. And maybe some others in here dotted around the place tonight. They've travelled in their numbers to be here. And I was their night at this moment in time. And Frank Lampard's mission is almost complete.
Yeah, getting the equaliser was all that mattered to Coventry, but getting it in front of those 7,500 fans, the story couldn't have been written any better for Bobby Thomas and Coventry. So much relief now amongst those Coventry fans. 85 minutes on the clock, 1-0 down. I'm sure they were getting really worried. OK, we might do it in the next game at home to Portsmouth. We want to get it done here. We've all come to see the team get the point, get to the Premier League. So the relief when that ball hit the net was so obvious, incredible.
Blackburn get the free kick. But let's not forget the part Blackburn have played in this tonight. They've been excellent. Hit late on by that Bobby Thomas goal. And those Coventry City supporters here ready to celebrate, as is a city south of here. Remember that sign? It said, "We will be back" on the day that Coventry City were relegated at Villa Park. 5th of May 2001, a standard defiance from that Coventry City fan with that banner that particular day. Now, the signs are "We are back," and they nearly are.
Talked about their character and resilience. Remember, end of January, February, they lost to Norwich, lost to QPR, drew at home 0-0 to Oxford. There's a few nerves around. They came roaring back, 6 straight wins. There's the resilience, the character, and they've shown it again tonight. Not the best team, but they've got on level terms.
Well, could there be another twist here? Alabiosu, Aitchison, Forshaw. Hashi's waiting in the middle here. And Matt Grimes perfectly placed, albeit Blackburn Rovers have it back. Torp, Alabiosu, who's still going. He was a doubt for this game, Alabiosu. He's been excellent in this game. Essay. 90 seconds to play. A generation away for the Premier League. Now 90 seconds away of Coventry City. Blackburn have had to host Burnley's title party here a couple of years ago. 25 years ago, in fact 26 years ago now, they had to host Manchester City's party, and those iconic images as the City fans poured down from the hills outside of Ewood Park to join the celebrations as Manchester City returned to the top division. Blackburn would like to host a party of their own here again one day, but tonight Coventry City's party will be starting shortly, but the Rovers fans turning up the volume again here. That's their verdict on their team's display tonight.
If Blackburn do this against Sheffield United and against Leicester, they've got no problem staying up. They've been outstanding tonight. They've made Coventry, the best team in the league, work so hard just to pick up a point, not to even win the game, just to draw the match. That's how well Blackburn have done.
They'll be counting down the seconds in the city of Coventry. There are still a few people there, despite the exodus up here. From ruins to renaissance, Coventry City pen the final page to complete the tale of this comeback story for the ages. It's a king who ends their exile. Doug King has taken them back to the Premier League palace. Coventry City's exile is over. They are coming home. They are a Premier League club again. Coventry, a Premier League city again. We can see tears away to our left in the away end. This is why football touches the soul. It enriches lives, it changes lives. Coventry's story, a story of resistance, of resilience, and ultimately of renaissance.
Yeah, Coventry weren't at their best tonight. Blackburn made them work incredibly hard, but this is a deserved promotion. They've been a tidal wave of goals. They've had positive attacking football, open play, set plays. They've been devastating, but defensively strong as well. The best goalkeeper in the league. Matt Grimes pulled the strings in central midfield. This Premier League return, it's been a generation in the waiting, but it's been secured by a proper club effort. You've got fans, you've got players, coaches, all pulling together. This is a wonderful story of footballing perseverance.
Those Coventry City supporters have been through it all, and despite it all, they kept on fighting. And Coventry's message to the football world is, don't stop fighting till the fight is done, until the fight is won.
It's been an extraordinary season, but I guarantee you, when we get to the summer and those Coventry fans can just think about the season that's just gone past, the 85th minute at Ewood Park will be the high point. Were you there for it? Were you watching it? The comeback has been completed.
And this is the way to do it. Imagine being Coventry City right now. They are going to turn around and say goodbye to the Championship. A new golden dawn awaits. The riches and the prestige of the Premier League awaits. Their story is complete.
And there's no luck, no good fortune about this. This is promotion that has been planned for, prepared for. Frank Lampard coming in, replacing Mark Robins. A lot of people thought that was completely the wrong move. Didn't change a lot after losing in the playoff semi-finals last season. All the decisions that have been made have worked out quite brilliantly.
Well, Jonathan Oakes loves the party. He's amongst the party. Let's get some reaction from the Coventry City players with Jonathan Oakes.
Congratulations, both of you. Bobby, you've scored the goal that's got Coventry back into the Premier League. How does that sound?
Amazing, amazing. Like, couldn't believe it when it went in, to be fair. Come at me at pace, but managed to move my neck all right and get it in. But yeah, it's been a hell of a season, and it's been almost been a project the last 3 seasons with the team we've got. Got a few additions on the way, and I feel like we deserve this point.
It was a majestic leap and header. What was it like in front of those 7,500 Coventry fans?
It was perfect, wasn't it? I mean, they packed out and we give them the point they needed. We all needed.
Matt, it's been a long 25 years for those supporters. What does it mean to do this for them? incredible. You can see it felt, saying before the game, like it's going to feel like a home game tonight, and it did. Fair play to them. Like, it's been, I obviously can't talk too much on it because these guys have been through it more than me, but it's been such a long time since a club of this size has been in the Premier League, so we're just happy we can give them something to shout about. Blackburn made you work hard for it tonight, didn't they? Yeah, they're a very good team. We knew that coming into the game. It's not just about us, they're obviously fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table, so yeah, they had a big incentive to come and win tonight, so yeah, it's just obviously a point is brilliant at the end. And you can actually talk about being promoted now, you can let the shackles off. Yeah, I know. I'm the biggest pessimist in the world, so he'll tell you, so just brilliant. And it's all about going for the title now, isn't it, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, we're promoted now, so, you know, it was a cagey affair, and credit to Blackburn, they're really good. So, you know, we can't drop our level now, we've got to try and, you know, get, I don't know whether it is we need 3 or 4 more points and confirm the title is what we're all after, what we've been working towards all season.
Fans are singing Frank Lampard's name. We saw you walking to get their arms around each other. What was he saying to you? No, I just said thank you. Obviously, bringing me to this club is such a pleasure to play here with these lads under him, with these fans. So, just showing my appreciation. Well done. We'll let you go and celebrate. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
There we go, captain and match winner embrace as they walk back towards those 7,500 Coventry fans packing that away end here at Ewood Park. And there is the manager who has masterminded this promotion back to the top flight of English football. 25 years they've been away. They said they'd be back. They probably didn't think it would be quite this long, but now Coventry City are back in the Premier League. Tim Sherwood, Joby McAnuff here with me. Joby, for much of the night, it didn't think it was going to happen.
No, but the best teams find a way, Jules, and over the course of the season, yes, they played some brilliant football, score goals for fun, but more times than not, they were the ones who were able to find those big moments in games to get them the wins and the points, and I think tonight was a point in case in that. No, they weren't at their free-flowing best. These games can be nervy, they're difficult situations to overcome where you sort of feel like you're there but you're not quite, and I feel that sort of came across in the performance, but ultimately great bit of quality on the delivery. Big Bobby Thomas rising when it mattered the most, and a thumping header in front of those amazing Coventry City fans, and I think the way they all would have dreamt that to get themselves up at the end, being able to be here and celebrating with their team.
Yeah, it wasn't always going their way tonight, Coventry, but they found a way. 26th set-piece goal of the season, and Bobby Thomas writes his name into Coventry City folklore. Tim Sherwood, you've won Premier League titles with the club who are hosting us tonight. You've won promotion. Tell me what those Coventry players are going through right now as they stand in front of those adoring fans.
Oh, it's no better feeling. Certainly, they want to go. When you want to win the championship, that's what you want to do. You want a trophy at the end of it. I've managed to do it, and a fantastic support at Portsmouth. And Blackburn so long ago now. Let me have a look, 91, 92. But that was via the playoffs. So a couple of promotions, but there's nothing like it. I mean, you come in to play football to play in front of adoring fans, and that's what these guys have done this season. It's been tough for this football club, really tough for them supporters, but they're getting something to appreciate at the moment. You know, these players have fought. It might not be pretty at times. At times it has been. They've scored a lot of goals. You know, but sometimes you just need to find a way. We're seeing that at the moment in the Premier League with Arsenal. If they can't open teams up, they find a way from a set piece. Big Bobby Thomas, I love him. I love Kitchen and all the 2 centre-halves. Put their body on the line. They really dig in. They deserve it. They deserve it. And now tonight they got outplayed by Blackburn. Blackburn played their part. They made it very difficult. It was never going to be easy. To win promotion's not easy. You have to just find a way. And them fans deserve it. They really do. It's been hard times for Coventry City, and I'm pleased to see them back in the Premier League, and they can just enjoy it now.
Yeah, you go back to those fans and everything that they've been through, playing at different stadiums, different parts of the country, and again, it's all been a little step at a time. Obviously, Doug King coming in has been absolutely huge, and that good news around buying the stadium, feeling like they've got a home now, and this man talking about feeling at home. What a job he's done in terms of the turnaround from where they were when he came in to this attacking dynamic force that we've seen all over this season. And yeah, they are moments that live with you forever, Jules. You reminded me 14 years ago, but they're special bonds. You know, no matter what else happens between now, some of these players will be a part of that journey, some will not. but what you'll never forget is this night and these feelings that you get to share that don't come along often.
This is when you're a kid, that's why you want to be a footballer, Jules. This reason. Not because you want the money. It's nothing to do with money. They're not thinking about what they're going to get paid now in the Premier League. It doesn't make it immaterial. What they're worried about is winning. They're winning something, you know, and winning promotion for a club who's been out of the Premier League for 25 years. They've achieved something what thousands of others of players and the turnover of managers. We've almost had 1,000 managers, I mean 15, I'm over-exaggerating, but they've achieved something together with that group of fans, and that support tonight has been absolutely magnificent for this Coventry City team. I'm really delighted for them, I really am. I had a short period there, and I wish Doug King was the chairman when I was there. Maybe we might have had a little bit more success.
The transformations has been remarkable. We mentioned earlier the administrations, the nomad periods when they were away, didn't have a home, you know, sunk as far as the 4th tier of English football. 2018, they were still playing in League 2, Jody, and here they are now heading into the 26-27 season as a top-flight side.
Yeah, as I say, and I mean, that man in the screen has to take so much of that credit, but obviously we've spoken about Mark Robins as well and the role he played in that rise up the league, and it's a group of players that's been together a very long time, so they've suffered those disappointments, again, going back to my own career, losing a playoffs and then be able to come back the next year. I'm sure some of them would have used it, you know, to really kick on this season, and you know, again, you just have to look at these scenes here, and it's absolutely incredible. And you could feel the tension among the players. Actually, the fans were great tonight, but until you get over the line, until you know it's absolutely mathematically done, that's where all this emotion now comes out, and that joy that, again, only nights like tonight can bring.
The players celebrate, the fans celebrate. 7,500 who managed to get a ticket here tonight. Thousands more at home in living rooms, pubs, fan zones, as we showed you shots earlier on, now enjoying every moment of this. And the man who's masterminded it all joins us now, Frank Lampard, joins us live.
Thank you, mate.
Frank,
thank you.
many congratulations. What was that moment like when Bobby Thomas leapt like a salmon and pounded the header home?
Well, yeah, I mean, incredible moment. Because we had a game had gone, and you worry because we weren't, you know, at our fluid best, but we were pushing a lot. But the quality of the ball in, the power of the header, which Bobby's done for us a good few times, but what it means to the club. After that, we had to sit out. We didn't know whether to attack or to stay on the ball or whatever. I was like, go on, have another go, but don't lose it.
That was surreal. Michael was the same. He was like, get forward. Go on, have a go.
I didn't know what advice I should give then, but it's what it's about, coming here and getting a point at this point of the season is not easy, and the stresses and strains and the worries and everything. We knew we were very nearly there, but to get it over the line like this for this club after 25 years, wow, I mean, that.
What do you feel now when you see those 7,500? And you can just picture them back at home in Coventry as well, right now.
It's amazing. I talked before about the fan base. I talked more about what they've gone through and all the disappointments, and they've stuck with the club and all the stories. And then now they get this moment. It's a serious football club. I didn't even realise. I knew the history. I knew Coventry, grew up Coventry, Premier League, First Division team, whatever. But this incredible fan base and what it means to the city and what these players have achieved. We came in 15 months ago, 17th in the league. Mark Robins had done an incredible job to get them back up where they were. But then to go and get automatic promotion as a non-parachute team with 3 games to go, those boys there, how they've listened and trained and everything they've done every day, it makes me feel emotional because they're so great to work with, and they deserve every second of celebrating and getting it done what they've done there. This league is hard. It's getting harder because even the teams that are fighting for relegation are teams that have got players and squads and that. People think it's easy. It's not. It's harder. And these boys have managed to achieve something pretty unique and absolutely special and incredible. I'm delighted.
Well said, Frank. You're a man who's won Premier League trophies. You've lifted the Champions League trophy. You won FA Cups. You won England caps galore. Let's talk about you now. How does this feel? How proud of yourself are you for what you've achieved here? This is your first promotion as a manager.
I'm proud, and sometimes you know, all managers talk about the players, but I am proud, and I'm proud myself and the staff, the boys, me, Chris, and Joe drove up 15 months ago, whatever, in a people carrier, and we went into a bit of an unknown, as you always go into a job. We've fallen in love with how the players, how they've reacted, the fan base, how it's reacted. So it's right up there for me for what I may have achieved. I was fortunate to be in great Chelsea teams. Winning the Champions League, winning leagues was amazing. Sometimes I could thank Didier Drogba for that or John Terry for that. Now to do this with this club in the circumstances that we've done it, for me overachieving, and I'm not belittling the players there, they've risen their game up by pure work, and I'm very proud to be the manager of that.
Frank, why did your gut tell you to come to Coventry? You had a lot of opportunities to go to other clubs. What was it about Coventry what finally made that decision for you?
I think there's things you learn, and things you learn from things you did well, maybe your own failings, but you get more perspective. And when I was out of a job, there were some opportunities, but I was looking at them, I wasn't sure. I thought, I went back to Chelsea, and I went back into a really, really difficult time. And I learned more in 6 weeks than I maybe did in longer periods at different football clubs, because it has to be right and feel right at the right moment. Now, you don't know what's going to come of it. When I looked at Coventry, I just saw a club that Mark Robbins had done great work with, an established club that we all know, Coventry. And I looked at the squad and I thought, yeah, there's some players that we can work with, and hopefully, transmit your style. Hopefully work at the level where it's not Premier League, and if you lose 2 games, you should get sacked. It's not far off that, but it was a chance to get my head down and work. And that was it. The rest you don't know. It's an unknown.
You couldn't have dreamed it would be this. Like
No.
you said, it was a non-parachute club.
Yeah.
You're not a favourite to get promoted.
No, and Tim, the thing that people don't forget, but these boys went from 17th to 5th last year, and Sunderland beat us, and we were so unlucky in that semi. So the resilience to come back again and to be able to push again and do the consistent stuff. Automatic promotion wasn't in our plan. We sat down in the summer, we talked about how perfect can the season be, considering what we are and what we can do and everything, and we were like, can we get in the playoffs, can we get maybe 3rd or 4th to play the home tie, 2nd, which we didn't do last year, and now these boys have done that, and they've got up with 3 games to go. I felt a little bit, there's always a stress and a panic. Last year we got into the playoffs in the last moment. Everton, we stayed up, 2 games to go. Chelsea got in the Champions League last game. Thank God I haven't got to do that this year. We want to go and win it, don't get me wrong, but it's such a good feeling that the lads have managed to get it over the line at this point.
Yeah. Frank, just in terms of your own journey, it's great to see the emotion coming out of you, because unless you've stood where you are, I don't think people quite understand the pressure around management. And I think sometimes people do forget the first couple of jobs. Brilliant job at Derby, first time round at Chelsea, fantastic. Did you feel you had a little bit of a point to prove coming back into management? Because we all sit here, and like Tim said earlier, you don't need to do it, but there's a passion, there's a drive there to want to prove people wrong, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, everything I've ever done, probably my career, has been a bit of a point to prove, to be honest. It's been a big driving force in my career as a young player to get through and to try and be better than the one next to me or the one down the road. So I'm probably lucky that I've got that ingrained. It's quite stressful because you're forever fighting against something. So even in good time playing or good time with Chelsea or keeping Everton up, I'm always thinking of the next thing. So I think I will always have that. And you also, in this game, like, if you're going to worry about what everyone says about you, and the 1 minute you'd be brilliant, the next minute you'd be an idiot, you'd be out of a job, like, I've got much more balance with that, which has helped my mindset.
Do you feel that's where you've grown as a manager from those earlier experiences? Because you have just radiated calmness this season, where everyone else is getting a bit carried away through that real wobble, and it was a wobble, leading up to Middlesbrough. And there was a lot of us that watched a lot of Championship football and thought, oh, this doesn't go the right way. But I've got to say, you just kept so calm. I'm sure the players responded to that and delivered such a good performance.
Yeah, I mean, I had my moments, and I think the trick of being a manager is we spend hours in the office sometimes, like, grilling over it all, and then you've got to walk out with a calm demeanour or a smiley face when you don't quite feel that. But yeah, again, I think when you trust the players, then it's much easier. You know, they're such a good group of players, and we know the modern squads now, you need 22 or 24, whatever. 10, 12, 11 of them don't like you very much on a Saturday when you pick the team. And I've got people like Jake Bidwell, Jamie Allen, I'm going to name check them there, that don't play every week. They're the best trainers, they're the best preparers, they're the best voice in the dressing room. And I don't think we could have done what we did this season without Jamie Allen and Jake Bidwell, and I'll miss out others, Ben Wilson, people that have been incredible that aren't always playing. And that's binded this squad together. So in my moments of suffering like we do, and you're always trying to find solutions, those boys are sometimes sorted out for themselves. So I'll pass some of that on to those lads.
And just finally, Frank, before we let you go, what happens now? You've got another game on Tuesday, you want to seal the title, but these lads want a party, don't they? What do you do?
Oh no, they can have a couple of beers on the way home, but we've got to go now, we've got to push on. I said to them before the game, because they had a bit of a party after Sheffield Wednesday when we're not promoted, but you know, we all know we were not going to turn around a 30-goal difference. So when they trained a bit average on Tuesday, Wednesday, I had the ump, and I was like, we've got a lot of work to do. It'll be a similar message. Now we're there, it's nice comfort. They deserve to have a beer, and the fans will have a load of beers. But they deserve that moment. But we do have to get our heads back in Portsmouth, because we know at our best, we've had 3 draws on the bounce now. It's understandable in this tense moment, but we want to go and do it. We've got Portsmouth, it'll be a tough game at home. We've got Wrexham, it'll be a tough game. If we play like we've played all season, at our best with the edge, like we played in the last 20 minutes, we will be fine. But we've got to try and sustain that for our own self, for our own feeling. We want to finish the season and go every bit from July 1st pre-season to the end. We were spot on. We'll try and do that.
Listen, many congratulations for the rest of the season. Enjoy it. Good luck on Tuesday and for next season as well.
Thanks very much.
Many
Appreciate your time.
Frank. Thank you.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Frank Lampard's Coventry City manager, Premier League Coventry City manager. They have sealed the deal. A point was what they needed at the start of the night, and a point is what they got. It was hard work, wasn't it? But Bobby Thomas was the man who rose high to head home the equaliser. Doug King, the man who's put the money in the last few years, here to witness it all. And at the moment, the Coventry players celebrated with those fans. Frank Lampard's team will be Premier League next season. So much more to come from Ewood Park after the break.
It never happens for people like us, nothing ever happened on its own.
That is how it feels to win promotion back to the Premier League after so many years away. The bright lights of the Premier League are calling Coventry again. Relegated at Villa Park 25 years ago, promoted at Ewood Park tonight. They'll be back at the top table of English football next season. Let's get some more reaction for you. Jack Redoni now is with Jonathan Oates.
Jack, congratulations. What's this like to be celebrating promotion with your teammates, with your fans?
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. I can't describe. I see my family in the crowd. They come down to the front, so I got to see them as well. It's an amazing feeling. Had a feeling we were going to score as well. We always do stuff like this. But no, it's amazing.
What's the last few weeks been like, knowing that you're so close, you've just got to get it over the line?
It's been all right. We wanted to do it. We've had a couple of games where we probably could have won and got it done quicker, but we knew the moment was going to come. We're a good team, and if you look at the fans, they packed out tonight. We couldn't leave without doing it today.
What does it mean to do it for the fans? Because you've spoken about the amazing support that they've given you, the atmospheres they've created in your games this season.
It means everything. They make the city go round. The club makes the city go round, and they love the club so much. As you can see, I don't know if I can barely hear you or myself right now. But they're the best fans. They're still here. They've absolutely packed out the away end tonight, and they pack out our home stadium every week. It's an unbelievable club, unbelievable fan base, and I'm so happy we could do it for them.
What about the job that Frank Lampard's done, and how he's brought you on as a player, what he's done for your career?
No, he's done so much, to the club, for me as a player, improving me day in, day out, and being there to help me on and off the pitch, allowed me to get better and score some crucial goals, which can help us all out and get to the Premier League. But he's done amazing things for the club. The consistency to keep us in the mindset, the winning drive he has is unbelievable, and to stay consistent throughout the year after coming in last year and showing that he can turn us into such a good team, to then come in this year and from the start of the season almost we've been right at the top, and now to get promoted is credit to us all and credit to the gaffer and his staff.
How much are you looking forward to showing what you can do in the Premier League next season?
Yeah, no, I can't wait. It's been my dream to get to the Premier League since a young boy, and for me to have the opportunity now to show everyone I'm ready to go. I'm ready for a big summer ahead, and I can't wait to step out there in the Premier League.
Thank you, Jack. Go and enjoy the celebrations. Well done.
And from a key player on the pitch, we've been joined by the owner of Coventry City, Doug King, the owner of Premier League Coventry City. How does that sound, Doug?
That sounds
Yeah, surreal, but I guess we needed a point and we got one. We've been great all year. The boys did it the hard way, but they did it, and listen behind that, what it means to the 7,500, 8,000 fans who've come here. I mean, they've been starved of it for a long time, and you can feel it.
Yeah, back on the Premier League map after 25 years. Talk to us about the significance for not only the football club, but for the city as a whole.
Look, 25 years is a huge amount of time, and when you get relegated, I think, you know, you might bounce back or whatever, and if you don't get back and you go through some tough times, you feel like it's never going to happen, but things change. Getting out of this league's really difficult, and we did it. No parachute, great recruitment, great coaching, great lads. Just got it together, you know, we got our whole city together, we got the club together, and we changed the direction of everything. So I'm super proud of everybody. They've had the whole of the season, you know, in front, and I think it's really difficult to be a front runner for that long, and they're not used to that. But they handled it, and today they handle it again, just about, got over the line, and you can hear it.
Yeah. Talk to us about the manager, because when you made the decision in November 2024 to change the manager and let Mark Robins go after all his achievements and bring in Frank Lampard, there were many people who questioned you. They're not questioning you now.
There were a lot of people who questioned that because they'd known what Mark had done and the depths they'd been to and what he had done to drag them from those depths, and he did an incredible job, and you know, he knows that because we had some good times together. He's been on the media today and he's been really generous, and he knows that I love working with him. We made a change. We felt like we had to change a bit of direction after the coaching team sort of changed, and we moved in with Frank, and here we are. And I'm sure Mark will get his moment with Stoke. Great city. It's a great city, great football club. But this is our time. It's our moment, and he started that, and we've finished it.
We're grateful that you've left the party to come and speak to us, but I'd like you to look at the monitors down here. We've just got some images of you a few moments ago.
Oh no, don't do that.
With the players and the fans. What was this like, this moment?
Listen, the boys are incredible.
There we go.
I don't know, look at that. It looked like it was waddling or something. It wasn't a very elegant one, was it? But, you know, there it is. They've been amazing, the fans. Look, they didn't agree with a lot of that. They didn't agree with the Mark move, but they realised that I would explain it to them, and they listened to that. They saw what we did. I've always tried to be transparent about what we're doing. It's a hard job to get out of this league. It'll be a harder job next year to do what we've got to do, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm loving this moment because it's been so long in coming. You never think it's going to come, but it did come, and, you know, I was up there and I had a little tear in my eye because I know how hard they worked, and we've all worked for this moment.
Doug, you talk about it maybe feeling like it's not going to come. You've had to have a playoff final defeat, the semis last year, which was a real sickener given the type of performance. But does that make tonight and the success even sweeter? And do you feel actually you're probably in a bit of a better position now to move forward with that challenge of the Premier League?
Yeah, you know, it felt like a bit early at Luton, but it was so close. Then we had the semi in the FA Cup that was madness, and then we had, obviously, it hurt last year, I would say. I felt we were good last year. I was up there with my son, and on that corner against Sunderland, he put his tie over his eyes, and I said, don't do that, and then it went in, and it was like, oh my God. It was a bit like that today, to be fair, but we were where we are. When you get in those good positions, you get used to it, and they got used to how it felt. It felt a bit better maybe than it did in those earlier times, and we saw that they handled that pressure throughout the season and got it done.
There's a man who took this club, his name's Jack Walker, and he was 26 years in the wilderness, but to the Premier League, and in 3 years they won it. Are you dreaming of that?
Listen, I'm not dreaming of that today because we know how things are in the Premier League, but I am enjoying and thinking about the challenge. I think it's another challenge for us to navigate. We're a big club, we're a big city.
Yep.
We've got a huge following, you can feel it.
See that, yep.
And you'll be going mad today in the city, mad. We'll get behind us and we'll see what we can do. We'll think about it, you know, very carefully, and we've got a really good team at Coventry with Frank, you know, with Dean Austin and those guys, and we'll work well on trying to make a good stab of it.
Yeah.
And how much, in terms of irons in the fire, preparations, have you been able to start already? How much does you now press the go button now that it's official?
Look, I think we've been top of the league for a while, so we look at all the scenarios and work out what we may or may want to do. We're very closely held on how we think about stuff. We have to be. We have to try and find our advantages. You know, we're coming up and we know who we're competing against, but I'm feeling like we've done some great work. We've expanded that whole recruitment, part of our business really effectively and efficiently. So, listen, we'll give it a good go. I told my guys, listen, don't think about it. Let's just keep it nice and calm. Bit of philosophy and think about where we want to go, because we have to do it our way. If we follow others, okay, fine, but we'll do it our way, and hopefully, if we can follow what we've done here, maybe we'll do okay.
I've heard some Coventry fans saying they're concerned about Frank leaving. Is there anything you can say to them now? I know he's got another year left on his contract, but anything you can reassure them?
Look, Frank's done an unbelievable job. He put himself in the arena in November of 24, and he didn't know how it would go. He had a feeling that he wanted to be back. He liked the project we were working on, he knew he had to get something done, and it was a big moment for him. And look what he's done. No parachute. Yeah. We haven't gone mad in the market. We've improved a lot of our players. We've kept them together. They know how it works. You've got a close-knit community there. Listen, he's a very, very talented head coach. I love working with him. He's articulate, he's clever, he's smart. He's challenging when he needs to be challenging. And I hope he's learned a bit with us, and I've learned a bit with him. And hopefully that'll continue.
Some nice moments there. We're seeing you a short time ago, embracing on the pitch.
He knows I love him. Yeah. Come on, Frank. Top man.
Doug, just on that, in terms of Frank and the job that he's done, and I just go back to the January window where you really did need that little bit of a boost. And one thing I've got to give you huge credit for, you've never sort of overpromised. You've been very open with the fan base about the investment.
Yeah.
And I can imagine Frank knocking the door down saying, listen, if I'm going to be here, we want a challenge. But you went and did that, and you did back him in January with the signings that you made, not just on Yeka, but some of the players who ended up being squad players, but really pushed on some of the boys that were playing.
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we were lean, let's put it like that, as we went into the season. I was okay with that, but we knew there would be tougher times ahead. We had a great start. We were really shooting the lights out, weren't we? When you're in a position like we were in, you don't get many of those. So you have to hit the studs in, right? I know that. You have to be careful. Everybody thinks you're going to go crazy. I think we worked it well, but we knew we were going to reinforce, and we were going to make sure this was our moment, because, look, we may never have had a greater chance. Yeah. And this, we haven't been there in 25 years, and when you realise that, you don't muck about, and we didn't muck about.
Absolutely.
Doug, thank you very much. We must go and let you enjoy it.
Enjoy your night. Kind. Listen, thanks, guys.
Well
Great
done.
coverage.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Yeah, really nice to see you. Many, many congratulations. I'll take that for you. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the summer. We'll see you in the Premier League. Thank you very much indeed. Doug King, the owner of Coventry City. What a night for him. What a night for Frank Lampard. What a night for the players and all those fans away to our left who are only now just walking out the exit. They didn't want to leave, and the party has well and truly started in the Coventry City dressing room. The champagne was on ice after last weekend. Now the corks are popping. It is flowing, and there's going to be one party. A 25-year party in the making tonight in Coventry. They're back in the big time. Much more from Ewood Park to come after the break.
I don't think there's a person in football wouldn't pick to win via the playoffs.
It's a miracle! It's playoff history!
Trouble is, there's three other managers trying to beat you.
It's the worst way to go out, that's for sure.
The playoffs are brutal, but the playoffs are brilliant!
Wembley Stadium was the pinnacle.
Wembley's for winning.
You can get it or you lose it.
It's not for the faint heart.
There's nothing like it.
The richest prize in football.
It's the most amazing feeling.
It was mental, absolutely crazy.
The unachievable was achieved. This is the best trip we've ever been on.
A special programme to celebrate the 40th edition of the playoffs. Nearly upon us now, aren't they? That was just a taster of what to expect. Lots of familiar faces making their contributions. It'll air for the first time on Saturday, the 2nd of May, 6 p.m. on Sky Sports Football. That's the final day of the regular EFL season. Still so much to be settled, so much to be decided this season. But on Sunday, prizes will be handed out because it is the EFL Awards live from London. Frank Lampard up for Manager of the Year. His keeper, Carl Rushworth, nominated for Championship Player of the Year. See for yourself who the big winners are on Sunday night. 8:30 on Sky Sports Football, hosted by our very own David Prutton and Emma Saunders. 25 years and the wait is over. Just 8 years ago, they were playing in the 4th tier, but now Coventry City are heading back to the top. They will take their place among the Premier League's elite next season. Look at those scenes of jubilation on those Coventry players. Needed a point tonight. They were training with minutes to go, but Bobby Thomas's header ensures they will be in the Premier League next season. Disappointing ultimately for Blackburn Rovers, who were minutes away from beating the league leaders. They would have been almost safe from relegation. As it is, they move 5 points clear of the bottom 3 with 2 games to go. How does O'Neill reflect on it? Let's hear from him now, speaking with Gary Weaver.
Michael, such a huge effort from your team tonight. How do you assess that performance?
Look, we're disappointed to lose a goal so late, but I thought we were brilliant tonight. You know, third game in 6 days. What we gave in the game, I thought we were a better team in the first half. I had the better opportunities, should have scored, and then we get ahead in the game, and obviously it's human nature, I think, with the situation we're in, to sit a little bit deeper. And but I thought we didn't give up very many chances. It was just obviously we're undone by a set piece and great delivery, and it's a great header. But yeah, look, we're disappointed because we were so close to getting the 3 points. But ultimately, there's a lot more positives from us. Really some really, really good performances.
I know you suggested before the game that the atmosphere here tonight, 7,500 Coventry fans here tonight, could inspire your team as well. Is that the way you saw it play out?
Well, look, the most important thing is that the team improve their performances and their home form. It's not been good this season, and we have to give the supporters something. Hopefully, they saw something tonight. They saw a team that is prepared to fight for everything. A team that is, really severely restricted with a lot of injuries as well. Our squad has been decimated, particularly in the last since the international break. So look, all you can ask is the players give everything and the supporters get behind them, and they did that tonight. What the away fans bring is up to them, but certainly in the performances where the away team has brought a big support, the likes of Middlesbrough, West Brom, we've not been beaten in any of those games. The unfortunate thing is that we've not managed to win any of those tight games either, but we're taking points, and we're trying to climb our way to safety.
So there we go, that is Michael O'Neill with Gary Weaver, the Blackburn Rovers boss, so close to beating Frank Lampard in his side and making their promotion party wait for a few more days. But Blackburn, in the end, having to settle for a point that does move them a step closer to Championship survival. Meanwhile, while we were hearing from him inside the Coventry dressing room, the party continues. Frank Lampard's in amongst it. The players bouncing up and down. They've got their promotion T-shirts on. Job done for them. They've had that sort of state of limbo since the draw at the weekend against Sheffield Wednesday. Knew they needed a point when they came here, and for much of the night found it hard going. Blackburn were impressive against them, took the lead, but in the end that Bobby Thomas equaliser means they can party like that. There's Doug King, who just minutes ago was stood here chatting with us, and now the owner of the club is in there being sprayed with his champagne. These are the moments these Coventry players and everyone connected to the club have been waiting for. We've talked about the 25 years, but this season they have been the standout side in the division, and an absolutely drenched Doug King is in there. They are Premier League, that's what they're singing. They are going up, and they're going to have some nights, aren't they? But as we heard Frank Lampard say to us on the programme, a couple of beers, and then we focus again on Tuesday night and a home game against Portsmouth. There should be some atmosphere there. Let's bring you some more reaction, because a short time ago we spoke to Brandon Thomas Asante.
Well done, Brandon. What's it like being able to celebrate this now?
Oh, we got some madmen behind you, by the way. It's going off. But nah, obviously, we're just happy to get over the line right now. Obviously, it was a tough game. It was a tough game, but kind of like by any means, as long as we get the job done. And now we've got one part, which is to be promoted, which we're buzzing for. But our mind's going to go into Tuesday and winning the championship, which is of course what we set out to do. So, yeah.
How has it been these last few weeks, knowing that you're so close, and going into tonight's game, knowing that you're all but promoted already?
I mean, I'm kind of I guess I'm a bit of a weird character. Like, it wasn't done until it's done, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think all of the lads were like that, sort of thing. Like, we wanted to win the game and any opportunity, sort of thing. But to get it done today is honestly such a relief, and you can see it with the boys. So.
They're all listening, aren't they?
They're all the mad guys.
What about your journey, Brandon? Because you played in League One and League Two, you dropped into non-league, and now you've made yourself a Premier League player. How do you reflect on that? How have you done it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just honestly glory to God, because there's been trials and tests along the way. When you're a young player, you get into a first team environment, you want to sort of just immediately go up, and of course that's what we all want to do, but it doesn't always go like that. So I'm just grateful to have had the support and the opportunity to be able to bounce back and to go to like I say, drop into National League on loan to try and prove yourself, go to League Two, and just any opportunity to be out there to take lessons and to try and climb. And I'm just really grateful to have been able to do that. But one thing was getting to the Premier League, but the next thing is actually performing there, which is the focus. So I'm not resting by any means.
Who are you looking forward to playing against?
Oh, honestly, all of them. I think there's going to be no prisoners, so I'm looking forward to it, and I want to continue the journey there. Yeah.
And you want these celebrations to continue now, don't you? Title to play for.
That's what I'm saying. There's much more to go for. We got, I don't know what records are there, but scoring charts, obviously getting as many points as we can, and being champions is the main thing. So we're going to go and chase that down as well.
Well done, Brandon. Thank you.
Cheers, thanks. Nice one.
Yeah, it's already been a record-breaking season, points and wins for Coventry City, and still more games to go and a title to be won, of course. It has been a long, long wait to get back to the big time. A famous sign that was held up at Villa Park that day 25 years ago when they were relegated on the left. We'll be back, it said. The plan was it for not to be quite that long, but the sign on the right tonight, Toby, we are back.
Yeah, absolutely perfect there, isn't it? And I think you're absolutely right, going back all that time. I don't think there's anybody, not just in the Coventry City fan base, but around English football, that would have thought it would have taken this amount of time, given how long they're in the top flight. But it just goes to show how hard it is when you do fall out and then you can tumble down the leagues to get them back up. Brandon Thomas Asante there, it's a fantastic story, one for any maybe aspiring player, who's playing a little bit lower down, that, if you dedicate yourself and, you apply yourself, the opportunities will be there. And he's had a real big contribution at times, as all those players have. It's been a real team effort. Yes, they've had some outstanding individuals. Carl Rushworth in goal, for me, has been the keeper of the season. You could go through the whole team, Matt Grimes, but at points of the season, all players have stepped up and had big contributions, and ultimately that's why they've been not just the best team but the best squad, and that isn't always an easy thing to manage, but that's one thing that Frank Lampard's done ever so well this season.
And now they are up, Tim. How much will they want to go up as champions?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about lifting trophies. Like I said, when I was at Portsmouth, we managed to get over the line. Leicester were chasing us, and we didn't want that. We wanted to be champions. We didn't want that taken away from us. So, yeah, they were concentrating on that, hence why they're only having a couple of beers tonight.
So it's going to be more than a couple, though, isn't it?
Of course it is. I mean, surely it is. Come on, Frank. You're not that tough.
1 point, more pints, I think that's probably the way to sum it up. Look, our time is done here. It's finally gone quiet in the away end, the Darwin end to our left, which was packed with 7,500 Coventry fans. They did not want to go today, but they've had to head home. We've got to say goodbye to you. Joby, Tim, great to have your company tonight.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much indeed. It was some night, wasn't it? Let me just tell you that as well as lots of cracking football coming up this weekend, not only from the EFL but the Premier League as well. Let's just mark your car for some top quality boxing tomorrow night as well, with Fight Night from New York, including the super featherweight world title bout between Alicia
That's the killer! That's the killer! Coventry City are going down. 34 years of top-flight football comes to an end.
City of Coventry has arrived en masse, hoping tonight is the night. It's Morista! And looking to make his move now! Is that the moment? Is that the historic goal? 3 decades away! Coventry City's exile is over.